we always gonna get it going, man. And I gotta say, for Wu-Tang Wednesdays, we gonna start doing this. Shout out to Local Lobo, if I said your name correctly, for the idea on this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout you out. It's come to my attention that people needed education. Y'all see that right there? Rocking the Wu today. We rocking Wu wear. And that is the reason why we gonna speak about Wu-Tang today. We gonna speak about the golden era of hip-hop as we need to. I've been going on social media, you know what I'm saying, and YouTube channels and all kinds of other podcasts here and there. And I gotta say, man, I understand that there's certain topics right now that are hot. Like we got the topics with the ASAP Rockies, the Drakes, the Rihannas. Shout out Lord Kingly the First. I appreciate you. I'm doing it this way because I'm going to play some videos. But shout you out, man. Thank you for joining in. And I think I got some of your DMs, by the way, man. If you can, shout out for the coin, too, man. Definitely like the video so we can get some people up in here as we're just getting started. So definitely like and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Shout you out, though. I appreciate you, fam. Yeah. The main thing that I want to say is that, yeah, man, it's an interesting thing that we have going on here with what's going on and what's trending around a lot of these hip hop heads. Appreciate you. And like I said, I understand that we got the J. Cole's. Yeah, shout you out, Lord Kingly the First. Shout you out. I understand that J. Cole, you know, he's doing his tour right now. I understand that the Drakes, the Rihannas, the A$AP Rockies, the Kendrick Lamars is all important. But the thing that I'm starting to see, though, is that we've left out a lot of the other parts of hip hop that we need to speak about and that we should speak about. We should be speaking about. And I'm glad that I saw some of you guys. I did a little vote up here. I don't know if you can see it on TikTok. Maybe I can pull it up on the screen later. But I see that some people, or maybe it's right here, have been voting in for which albums that they like. All right. And I think that there's some that right now, because we're only going to go through phase one. We're going to go through the first phase. There's different phases of Wu-Tang. There's different groups that were added into the culture. So I want to make sure that you guys make note of that. There's different phases of this. So right now we're going to focus on the first phase of Wu-Tang. All right. And that first wave of Wu-Tang that came out was, I believe, and we're talking about the solo albums here. We're not talking about the Wu-Tang albums. The first phase of the Wu-Tang, which I have right here in my notes, is Method Man to Cow, Old Dirty Bastard, Return to the 36 Chambers, the dirty version, Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links, which I believe is my favorite. And then coming in a very close second is Jizza from Liquid Swords, which we also have Ghostface Killah, Iron Man. All classics, right? I think we can agree. Those are all classics, right? And then, you know, we got the phase two with like the Capadonnas, the Method Man second album, the RZA, Bobby Digital, Jizza, Beneath the Surface, which is also one of my favorite albums. You know, we got all these other albums. We'll get on that on another YouTube Wu-Tang Wednesdays. There's so many Wu-Tang albums to go throughout the years that it's probably would be impossible for us to do this all on one stream. But I will say the one cool thing that I'm happy about is that I listened, you know what I'm saying, to these albums today to just kind of refresh my memory on it. You know what I'm saying? Like before I forgot. And I was like, yo, man, it felt so refreshing to listen to real hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It felt so refreshing to finally listen to some real hip hop. it made me remind myself of how much, man, we have let hip hop just, like some of y'all said, deteriorate or get diluted over the years to where, man, a lot of these rappers ain't really talking about nothing. Even and to some degree, Kendrick Lamar on his last album, even though I know that some people ain't going to agree with that, but I'm just saying, like, compared to what we had going on with Wu-Tang in the golden era, and this is another reason why I got to refresh some of y'all memories about what's going on here, is that some of y'all that I know that we had jumped in the chats with before actually thought that the golden era was like 2015. Y'all should know better. Y'all should know better, man. So right now, for the votes that I have coming in, I'm glad to see some of y'all have been voting on YouTube already. Old Dirty Bastard coming in at 50%, which I really like. And like I said, again, this is just the first phase. So don't go and bring up Ghostface Killah Supreme Clientele, because we're talking about the first phase. Even though I went back and went through that album too today, and I still feel Iron Man, to me, I think is a better Ghostface album. Method Man to Cow. Actually surprised that nobody has voted for that one. Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. Yes. 50%. Old Dirty Bastard coming in at 50%. And it looks like nobody has voted for GZA Liquid Swords yet. Now, I thought I saw one at 36%. But let's go through a little bit of history that I had pulled up right here while we get everything set up. Make sure you guys are liking the stream. Share the stream. Let's get some people up in here. We're doing a little bit different today because I want to go over some of the music, some of the classics, things that people forgot about. That's what we got to talk about today. So, yeah, man, make sure you guys are liking and subscribing.
Dude, you was on a solo tip, right? Yeah. Niggas and Tommy Boy tried to play you. Yeah, let's kick that, dude. That's it.
Let me ask y'all a question, too, while we're on the subject. Does the RZA get enough credit, you know what I'm saying, as like one of the best producers of all time? I always wonder that too. Like, you know, coming up, I always felt that the RZA was one of my favorite producers of all time. Okay, but we gotta really acknowledge this too. Whereas, let me pull the list back up. We gotta really acknowledge this, that this dude had an incredible run between the years of 94 and 96, which are the golden eras, the golden years. Method Man dropped in 94. ODB dropped in 95. Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links, dropped in 95. GZA dropped in 95. So we have 3 albums that dropped in 95. Okay? 3 albums. Don't forget, that dropped in 95. And let me pull up some of these too, just in case. Let me just go back and get these album titles too, or these album covers, just for y'all. I mean, even like the album covers were dope too. But like I said, remember when I told y'all before, for those of you that remember that were on the other stream, remember when I told y'all that these albums that came out in 95, right? And we don't even have to just consider Wu-Tang. We can consider others like OC, as I mentioned before, others like Mobb Deep. We could consider all of them, right? But can we say that most of these albums that came out in 95, as I've told you before, they were all classics? Like Method Man to Cow was a classic. ODB, Brooklyn Zoo, all that stuff was a classic. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And don't forget, all of these dudes are all from the same group, right? Oh, of course, the Raekwon one didn't want to load. We'll come back to that one. And I think we also had, what was it? Yeah, Liquid Swords, which I know a lot of y'all say is one of your favorites. You said absolutely not. There's so many layers to his work. I agree. With RZA, yeah, man, shout out. There's so many layers to his work. So many, man. I mean, come on, man. Just like the beats alone, like we don't even have to go through the whole like the whole rhyme scheme of Cuban Links or Tikal or things of that nature. We could just talk about the whole beats, the production. This is some of RZA's best production, best beats. Like I said, the run that he had at that time. Right. Yeah, you said Liquid Swords. Yeah, man. Shout you out. Amazing album, man. But just the beats, the MCs, brain, the Remont, the like, we'll play it. We'll play it. Only Built for Cuban Links too. And not to sleep either on Method Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though it seems like some of y'all in the comments haven't put your money on what's it called? Method Man to Cal, which is interesting. But come on, man, the METHOD, man. Well, that was on 36 Chambers, but still. Method Man, what was it? The Cal. That was a classic. You know what I'm saying? That was a classic. So that's my point, man. There's so many forgotten classics, so many forgotten beats. Y'all got to do your education. I'm willing to bet that a lot of people don't even know about the RZA who we have these conversations with or we have these talks with. Here we are. I don't know why it wasn't coming up on the other thing, but yeah, we got to go through the album cover. And this is what I also want to tell y'all. Still timeless. And I'm going to tell you right now. Me personally, and I think a lot of people too, not just me personally, but I think that a lot of people would prefer to listen to Only Built for Cuban Links than to listen to Playboy Cardi. Yeah, Mafia 1051. Shout out Wuzo. Shoo. Appreciate you. You said Liquid Swords was yeah. It was I don't know if I said a word on it, but yes. It was the bomb diggy diggy the bomb diggy diggy. Yeah, definitely. Do I like any of the Killer Bees albums? Bees Knees says. Of course. We're gonna go through all of those albums. And thank you for the coins coming in too. We're gonna go through all of those albums. But like I said, this stream for today is clearly on the phase one. We have different phases of Wu-Tang, different groups. You can't forget Killer Army. I think Killer Army was the best subgroup of Wu-Tang next to Sons of Man. Yeah, man, there's so many groups to go through that we cannot forget. You're right. We cannot forget these groups. But like I said, today we are focused on phase one.
You gotta flow with it.
We're covering the beginning of when Wu-Tang was just getting started.
Like sauce, the smoke from the lyrical blood make me
sitting down there and we sing church songs because we went to church. We were the church goingest people in the world. We went to church damn near 3 or 4 times a day. I said, that's when I knew what this nigga was all about.
So you would say the Mary J joint?
The talent that he had, because it wasn't only that. He would say the incredible stuff that you wouldn't expect a kid his age to say. I mean, the things he created from his mind. And it was like more poetry than he thought that it was, you know what I'm saying? But it was street poetry.
Let me go to this video though too, because I think a lot of y'all might not have heard some of this, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I mean, it's funny how sometimes, well, I mean, it's not really that funny, but it's interesting how sometimes we can go through certain Wu-Tang songs, right? And by the way, didn't these dudes like also have a regency, or you would say at or a residency, I should say, at it's like somewhere in Vegas? You know, so that's what I'm saying, man. These are groups that are like nostalgia groups that are still putting out classics to this day. Yes, the Decal album was fire. Exactly. Dartmouth. Let me make sure I see your comment coming in. You said the Golden Arms Redemption is the best Wu-Tang Clan solo album. Golden Arms Redemption. I'll make a note of that. Who is the artist of that? Which Wu member are we talking about? Yeah, which Wu member are we talking about? Because like I said, I mean, I know some of y'all might be just jumping in. Maybe I should have had it like a headline going right here. But the headline should read, we're going through the first chapter. I think that makes more sense. Maybe I should call it that. I should call it the first chapter, right? Of what we're saying for the Wu-Tang. That's what this is. But I believe that this was the demo that they put out. I mean, they eventually did a video for it, for those of you that don't know. But I think that this was the demo that came out. Let's see. Let me check on the notes. Let's make sure that that one's on the notes. You said, oh yeah, You God is definitely a very underrated Wu-Tang member. You said dungeon music at its finest. Let me see.
I smoke on the mic like smoking Joe Frazier, the Hellraiser, raising hell with the flavor, terrorize the jam like troops in Pakistan, swinging through your town like your neighborhood Spider-Man. So all tick tock keep ticking.
Yeah, I have it on my notes. I have it on my notes. Shout out. Yeah, it's phase that You God album comes in phase 2. That album dropped 1999, which is definitely dope, and we'll have to go through that one again. But yeah, right now we're covering the Wu years from 94 to 96. I mean, if we really wanted to be technical, we could go back to 91 and go to where GZA dropped his album, Words from the Genius, and RZA dropped the Prince Rakim album on Tommy Boy, where he talks trash about it on Liquid Swords. But yeah, we're focusing just mainly on first chapter for this one. But I just want you guys to see real quick like how rugged and raw this is. Danger, deep in the dark with the art to rip the charts apart. The vandal, too hot to handle your battle. You're saying goodbye like to be careful. Roughneck, inspect the decks on the set. Real raps, man. I make more noise than heavy metal. The way I make the crowd go wild. Sit back, relax, won't smile. Ray got it going on. Let me make sure I got you coming in here. The rap assassinator. Rhymes rugged and built like Schwarzenegger. And I'ma get mad deep like a threat. Blow up your project. You said, take all your assets. Cause I came to shake. Yeah, I got that with Onyx. Yeah, I got that with Onyx. I'll check that out. I have that on the list too. I'll make a note of that too as well. Thank you. Shout you out. Appreciate you, fam. Okay, so you say you 51. Shout you out, man. You've been there, so you know. Let me make sure I got you like that. That's what the homie said. So, yeah. Make sure I got you there coming in. Thank you, Bees Knees, for the follow. Appreciate you, man. Yo, OD was like really underrated. Probably, I think that this verse right here is the most clearest ODB verse I've ever heard. Like, cause we already know his solo album was on some others.
Stop sticking pins in your head like a fucking nurse. I'll attack any nigga who's slacking his mat. Come fully packed with the fat bucket snack.
Let's pull up the Brooklyn Zoo while we got here.
The old dirty bastard, straight from the Brooklyn Zoo. And I'll be damned if I let any man come to my center. You enter the winter, straight up and down. That shit is pack cam. You can't slam. Don't let me get fooled on the man. The old dirty bastard is dirty and stinking. They saw unique rolling with the night of the creeps. Niggas be rolling with a stash. Ain't saying gas, bite my style. I bite your motherfucking ass.
And I'm just telling you this. I'm telling you this. Like, this ain't even really my favorite Wu-Tang song from 36 Chambers.
I have been buying organic for 3 years.
One of them. I'll say this.
I thought the USDA label meant something. I thought I was doing the right thing for my kids.
I'm gonna play this other track too that you guys gotta hear.
The strawberries
you guys gotta hear this
one.
Clean.
Here's what comes off a bowl.
Play this. We got to do the ODB. I mean, I was gonna say like this isn't even my favorite Wu-Tang song from 36 Chambers. It's one of them, but it's not even my favorite one. But what I really appreciate about this video is how it's like the breakout. This was the introduction. I remember like this is what we saw on Yo MTV Raps or on, you know, The Box and all these early shows when hip hop was still just a baby in some ways, or it was like growing into a teenager now. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing that a lot of these young kids need to understand is that like how we had the one dude on the stream earlier yesterday and he was like, oh, well, you know, we had a lot of them, but like one said something like, oh, well, did Nas create a subgenre? Like, what are you talking about, man? What are you talking about, dude? Did Nas create a subgenre? You need to realize that when these dudes were doing hip hop or rap, whatever you want to call it, if you want to get technical, rap was not the mainstream yet. You didn't hear rap everywhere like the way you do now. You didn't hear hip hop everywhere. You only heard it at a certain time of the day or the week, if that. Not even like a day. It was actually of the week. You'd hear it once or twice a week if you were lucky. And if you stayed up late at night, like how you are for my show, you might actually catch some hip hop. So people need to understand that it was not even a genre yet. Yeah, Nas is dope. Exactly. That's how the culture was at that time, and it was very influential before Puffy made his move. Exactly. You know, I just remember too that Puffy did the remix though to "You're All That I Need," the one with the Mary J, like you were saying, Bee's Knees, I think. I'm surprised that none of y'all have voted, or some of those that have jumped in the chat have voted for Method Man to Cal yet. Very interesting. But yeah, but it looks like we got it for ODB and that. But yeah, man, it was so raw and so real, and the lyrics ain't talking about how much money they got and how many women they got and all this. I mean, of course they said that in some songs later on, especially after they got money. But yeah, Inspect the Deck again. Underrated. And the cool thing is that they still do this song to this day. And when they do this song, because I've seen them perform live a few times, when they do this song, it still gets as hype, you know what I'm saying, as it is. You said, you know, I'm covering the origins. You said you've been in the lines for double albums. You're a rap junkie. Yeah, man, straight up. I've been in those lines too. I've been doing all that too. Been around here. And this is the thing though, man, too, that I want to point out, because I remember being in these hip hop ciphers or at these shows, and you know, it would just get crazy and get lit. I don't think people really understand that back in those days, this is really obviously, I mean, you know, you don't see any cell phones or anything like that. I don't think that people really understand the hustle and the grind that had to go with this back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually had to get out there and you had to rap. You had to rap your lyrics, rap what you're doing in front of the crowd, and have the crowd think that your shit is hot and buy your CD or your tape afterwards. As a matter of fact, I think that when this footage was being filmed, I don't even think that cassette or CDs were even around yet. I think it was just cassette tapes. You know what I'm saying? So like, you would go push your music, rock the crowd in these grimy gutter places where the crowd had to feel you. And people are probably thinking like, oh, because they're watching this, they're probably thinking like, oh, yeah. You know, Playboy Cardi could go out there and rock this crowd. I don't think so, man. Not to bring him up, because I know that y'all bring him up a lot. I think that a lot of these rappers, as I've mentioned before, I think that they've been programmed by the industry and programmed by record companies and social media to make y'all think that their music is really tight. So then you'll hear people that'll be like at the crowd and you know, at the concerts, all that, you know, probably, let's just be honest, half of them are all on drugs, or if not most of them. So they don't even care like really what the music sounds like anyways. They're just listening to the 808s. That's all they're listening to. They're just listening to the 808s. And that's all they hear. You know what I mean? They don't care about the lyrics. They don't care about what the dude's talking about. They don't care about nothing. All they care about is just hearing that bass. That's what this generation of hip hop fans, or shall I say rap fans, are now to me. That's what they are now. Whereas we all know before, yeah, man, it was a little bit more, not just to say that it was a little bit more lyrical, but it was a little bit more, you know, there was more context.
The Klan changed the whole dynamic of everything. I mean, what can you say, you know? The way it's supposed to be done, okay, everybody's fronting on me. Like, think about the fact that Tommy Boy had the whole Klan in the palm of their hands. And at the time when they were hot, you know, when Tommy Boy was hot as a label, and Monica Lynch and Silverman or whatever, they didn't get it. And you know, that just goes back to showing you it still comes down to this. You know, I don't care who you are, what kind of executive, whatever. If you can't hear it or see it, then you miss out. And somewhere along the line, you know, it wasn't that you can even say that Loud Records.
See, we got another
totally
vote coming in for
Raekwon,
but it was the fact only
that
built
you
for
couldn't
Cuban
deny
Links.
it. Like, this is an independent record that was knocking out majorly signed things, you know. Like Hot 97, nobody walked that up to, you know, the Clan pioneered that in and of themselves. Like, the strength of the record, the strength of the music.
Dude's speaking the truth right there, man. He's speaking the truth right there. As a matter of fact, and you know, this is another thing too. Like, I don't know where this came from. I think it might have came from Twitter, where people care about first week's album sales. You know, like this is some new cultural thing, which I know. I saw homie in the comments or in the chat section. Yeah, B nose or bees knees, like bees knees. Yeah, man. I think that a lot of people understand that back in these days, people didn't care if your album went platinum or sold 500,000 copies in the first week. All they cared about was, is it dope or not? Is it hot or not? And eventually it made its wave around town and around the country and then the rest of the world, to where people heard it and then they wanted to buy it too, or buy a copy of it too. Like, I don't think Method Man went platinum in the first week. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, let me take that back and we'll fact check that. I think that Method Man's Tikal did go platinum. I don't know if it went platinum in the first week, but I think it went platinum pretty quickly, faster than the others. Like the 36 Chambers, the first album, the one that we have right here on the wall, I think that album took about a year before it finally went platinum, right? I believe so. Oh, hold on. And you see, they got all them boys working with them. I mean, that's how they got out there. Let's pull this up real quick, because since we went and we analyzed that, I think we have to just pull up one small clip from it, right? From the song, you know what I'm saying? And there's a couple others that we're going to get into. Of course, we're just talking about 36 Chambers first, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about 36 Chambers first. And I know I said that we were going to talk about the solo albums, but watching this documentary definitely got me into looking at some other parts of the Wu and parts of other things that were going on with the Wu. In front of a liquor store or restaurants with the fire coming out of the trash can to stay warm. How street is this? Is the essence of hip hop. That's what I'm trying to say, man. This is like, remember I don't know if for some of y'all, thank you. Yeah, man. Sonic Junkies. Exactly. Facts. One way in one of way out spots. Yeah. One way in one of the out spots. Yeah, man. It's like one of the dudes tried to say to me yesterday on the stream. This is why sometimes I just don't even care to take people's calls. I know people might be getting mad or stuff like this. It's like, to tell you the truth, moving forward, I don't even care, man. I was watching some of these streams and I'm like, okay, usually when they have people on a panel, they usually have people on a panel that know what they're talking about. They don't usually put people on panels who don't know what they're talking about. So like, you guys got to give me props. I'm not saying like all everybody. There are some people that jump on where I do agree with their takes too. But majority of the people that jump on, it's like they have no idea what they're talking about. Like some dude was talking about, hey, the rainbow community should be accepted into hip hop. No. And like I said, I have nothing against that. They can do that all that they want, but it doesn't belong in hip hop culture. Men should not be wearing dresses in hip hop. That's the point that I'm making here. And now that I think about it, I don't even know if I ever want to even hear that bullshit ever again. The next time I hear somebody say some stupid shit like that, excuse my French, but the next time that I hear somebody say something dumb like that, I think we're just going to get them off the call. We're going to get him off the call, right? Let's move forward. We shouldn't even be wasting time with some of these stupid takes, right? Just be like, well, that's cool that you feel that way, but you know what? It's not part of the culture. Obviously, you haven't done your history. That's why I went back and asked questions. Please name 5 rappers from the golden era. And he brought up A$AP Rocky, the man's part. Because, I mean, his hook is so phenomenal on this. But you guys got the idea now, right? You got the idea of what I'm talking about. You see the graffiti. You see the rapping. You see the somewhat of the dancing. I mean, they're not really breakdancing in here, but we know RZA doing the beats and doing the DJ. We can see all of the elements of hip hop throughout this video. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I was trying to break it down to y'all earlier that Future does not portray the elements of hip hop. You said just under 8 months. Oh yeah, you're talking about 36 Chambers going platinum? Yeah. Did we look that one up? I think we did, right? I mean, I definitely looked up Method Man. No. Well, I don't know what you mean by just under 8 months, but Wu-Tang Clan, to pull it up right here. Let me make sure I have it up on the screen so you guys can see right here. I did pull this up. Don't know if you can read it, but I'll read it. Wu-Tang Clan's debut album, Enter the 36 Chambers, was released November 1993. Great year in hip-hop, by the way. And was certified platinum by the RIAA in 1995. So it took 2 years for this album to finally go platinum. You see, but back then people didn't care about this shit. Like that's what I'm saying. If this album would have came out today, people would have considered this album a failure with streaming. You see, it was a very different time when people actually went out, like, you know, and I'm sure some of y'all that are in the chat, right? Yeah, that was right. We got that one right. I appreciate it. Yeah, where people actually had to go out and go to the record store and buy the album. And it finally made its circulation throughout the communities and throughout the nation and then around the world. Because I'm pretty sure that once it sold 1 million copies, it was going on around the world. But do y'all see this right here in the fine print? It says right here that, you know, if you guys can see that right there, it says right here that its first week sales was only 30,000. 30,000. But let's also keep in mind, this is 30,000 physical copies that were sold. This isn't that, oh, you know, the album got streamed about 500,000 times, so that would equal 30,000 copies to equivalent made up math that we just created. No, this was actually 30,000 physical copies, and I'm willing to bet, since it was released in 1993, this was before the era of CDs, so most of these record sales were probably either on vinyl or cassette tapes. 1995, 2 years later. And that's really like longevity if you really think about it, man. If you really want to like clarify it and break it down, that's longevity. Like it almost, and then today, here we are today, actually older than the Jay-Z album. That's like Reasonable Doubt, man. Here we are today. It actually, I think, sounds better with time and is way more relevant today than ever. Like, I loved it when they did this song at Madison Square Garden in front of all the rich people who had enough money to afford to buy $500,000 tickets to a basketball game.
Taking it right there. They leave me no choice.
That's what I'm saying, man. I was happy that they did the song Cream at the NBA Finals. They needed to put that message back out there in front of all these rich people. And the beautiful thing is that these dudes are all rich now. They're all multimillionaires now. But when they wrote these songs and when they did these videos and put this out, they weren't rich. So now here they are, successful, rapping a song that they wrote when they weren't successful in the basement, which is one of the greatest rap songs of all time, in front of a bunch of rich people. It was like it was just so what's the word I'm looking for? Symbolic. It was so symbolic. CD sales. You said Steve runs Spring Sound. Oh, okay. Steve Rifkin. I'll have to look that up. Yeah. CD sales overtook vinyl in 1988 and cassettes in 1991. Well, wait. CDs overtook vinyl? You mean cassettes, right? Cassettes were before CDs, right? You mean cassettes took over vinyl in 1988 and then CDs in 1991, right? Although, yeah, you're probably right. Because, I remember, like I said, for me, I remember when I had this when I first heard this album, I had it on cassette, which was dope. And I remember looking at it too. I was like, man, what the heck is this? Because they all had their faces covered on the album, and I was like, man, what the heck is? I thought they were like Wu-Tang. I thought they were Asian rappers. I was like, man, I don't want to hear no Asian hip hop. I'm not trying to hear no Chinese rappers. At least at the time, I felt like that. Now we got rappers of all cultures, but I remember you guys got to remember, this is like when hip hop was like predominantly a black sport, which it still kind of is, but it was like really black at this time. Like, even though Vanilla Ice did drop before that, but I think that Vanilla Ice was kind of fading out about that time, and Vanilla Ice was kind of more considered pop, obviously, especially when you compare it to this. But yeah, I mean, I thought these dudes were Asian. I didn't even think that they were black. I was like, what is this? Like, you know what I mean? Wu-Tang Clan. But man, did they not come in shock?
I got no better. Same damn low sweater.
Shout out for the follow. I appreciate you, fam. Shout out. That's the thing too that I respect about Wu-Tang as well, is that I think that they're all still cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, that takes a lot too, to be going through all that you've gone through throughout the years, and like, here they are sitting around the table with the champagne glasses, drinking, counting the money, doing all that, and it's like, like homeboy said to you earlier, man, it's men. It's a men's group. You know what I mean? Like, we don't get down like this anymore. This is the other part that I really want to make clear about Wu-Tang, is that we don't get down like this anymore. Or at least not to the mainstream level. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out. Yeah, we don't do this on the mainstream level anymore, or we don't promote it on the mainstream level. Like, I'm trying to think, like, when's the last time I seen a newer rapper, sitting around like all his peoples that he works with? I mean, there's been a few. Like, I mean, maybe we could kind of say like Kendrick with Not Like Us, but he had to do that because he was in a beef, he was in a battle, so he wanted to show his team. But let's say that you're not in a beef and you're not in a battle. Can you show your team? That's the other part that I love about the Wu-Tang, is that they show organization. They show togetherness. They show a mastermind. You know what I mean? It's much easier to get to the top and succeed when you have a team of people working together. What do they say? What's the saying that some of y'all probably don't even remember? What was it? Teamwork makes the dream work. You know what I mean? Teamwork makes the dream work. And I think that we need to promote and push more unity like this in the rap and hip hop community, but it's not being pushed, and we know why, because the record companies wanted to stop signing conscious rappers. Mouth, you said crews were essential back in those days. Yes, they were, man. They definitely were. And it's funny because I heard a couple people say on the streams they need to bring crews back. I almost feel like they do, man. Because let's just be honest, man. When you got a crew and you got a bunch of people working with you and working together, you're gonna eventually make some noise. You're gonna eventually do some things. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of crews, let's just play the one classic clip of ODB in Power. Definitely one of the best rappers too of all time. I mean, I don't even know if I even have to go to say that he's one of the best rappers of all time, but what I will say is that his solo album is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And I did see a couple of y'all vote for it. And speaking of Inspector Deck, I think Inspector Deck just did a new interview too. I think we played that one before. But here, we'll come back to this because it's probably going to play an ad real quick. So let me just make sure we can get to the next one. That's the thing. But it's kind of hard to find these on TikTok, find or Twitter, shall I say, find the real videos. Maybe I could look a few of them up on there. I just wanted to play little clips here and there. You know what I'm saying? We got to watch out for the copyrights anyways, but we're probably already got copyright on that last hook by Method Man. But you know what, though? It's so classic that we had to play it. We had to play it, you know, just to have it on this stream to remember, in case, you know, we need to go back for historic purposes and watch this. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I got to tell you, man, when I saw this video drop, I thought it was one of the hardest videos I ever saw on hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I thought like,
coming through your area. And I'm
yeah, I
gonna
thought
tell you one time, you gonna love this. I'm the one man army, a sword.
Some of RZA's best beats too.
I keep MCs looking out. I drop signs like Crosby dropping babies. Enough to make a nigga go crazy. In the G building, taking all types of medicine. Cause you thought you were better than a son. I keep planets in orbit while I be coming with deeper and more shit. Enough to make you break and shake your asses. Get sprayed with lights.
I like the fact of like how they're organized. You know what I'm saying? Like even though it's only dirty rapping,
you don't want to
they got everybody in the video though. Everybody's always was like usually in the video.
Get shot. A lot of MCs came to my showdown.
I'm telling you, man, the ODB solo album was one of the most underrated. Well, maybe not. I think it definitely got its props. But I think that this album right here was phenomenal.
Then watch me put the low down. As you can go below zero. Without a doubt, I never been taken out by a nigga who couldn't figure.
Yeah, you're right about that, man. Shout out to you for your comment. You said that after... What was it? Dartmouth shut you out. You said after Puffy's mind-controlled poisoning, the trap frequency destroyed the minds that remained is all. I agree, man, 100%. Well, you know, I think the trap, in my personal opinion, but I do agree with what you're saying. I get the point. Like, Puffy was, like, doing the whole dancing and money and getting money. You're right, and doing all that and being all flashy, especially after Biggie, and then he did the whole Mace thing. You know, he came with the whole Mace, all that stuff. Even though Mace was cool, Mace could rap and all that, I give Mace props, but it was just like, you're right, that whole era just destroyed it and made it about money and this and that. And then the other thing is too, is that some people will say that that was supposed to be about fun. Like, nah, dude, talking about getting money was not supposed to be an element of hip hop. That was never an element of hip hop. You could talk about having fun, and then I remember this dude brought up Biz Markie, and I should have said this in the debate now that I think about it. But it's like, yo, and shout out Lo-Fi Machine Facts. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, shout you out. Thank you. Yep, that's right. Strength in numbers. Exactly. Shout you out. And make sure you guys are liking the stream too, man, so we can get some more people up in here. Don't cost y'all nothing to like the stream. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all know how the algorithm works. If they like it, YouTube, TikTok, all that, they'll push it out to more people. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know how it goes, man. So make sure you guys like, and like you said, how you said, strength in numbers. That's what this does, man. It builds our strength in numbers, especially when we're speaking on some realness that needs to be out there and heard in the general audience. But yeah, man, I agreed. Like, the whole trap era came around, and then Puffy was like the pop rapper. And thank you, man. Shout you out. Appreciate you. Puffy was like the whole pop, rap, hip hop era. And then like this dude, like I said, man, I should have brought this up in the debate now that I think about it. But it's like, but I mean, I think I pretty much served his ass. But, you know, this dude's talking about Biz Markie, and I'm like, yo, Biz Markie never really rapped about getting money from what I remember. He might have had like a few bars or a few verses here and there about that, but that wasn't really his essence either. So this whole, I don't know where people confuse this whole, oh, getting money is about having fun. No, it's not about the culture. There's nowhere in the dictionary of hip hop where getting money is one of the elements of hip hop culture. Not in one place in the hip hop dictionary, but not just that. Not just that it is not in the dictionary of hip hop and rap. The other point that I'm making is that a lot of these rappers weren't even really making money off of rap. As you can see here, this is why Wu-Tang is so real. They're not promoting that they have money, and they don't have money, and they're not getting money off of this. They're getting money off of it now, but they weren't then. Do you see what I'm saying? And now that we've seen what has happened with Diddy, speaking of Puffy, Puff Daddy, and he had to change his name from Puff Daddy to P Diddy to Diddy, and now when he gets out, he's probably gonna have to change his name again.
Taking it right there, it leave me no choice.
That's what I'm saying, man. Diddy, P Diddy, Puffy, Sean Combs. Let me tell you something, man. He was getting funded by the powers that be, obviously. Obviously, he was getting funded by the powers that be to manipulate and infiltrate the rap. We all see it now. See, back then, people didn't want to admit it. They used to be like, oh, yeah, well, you know, it's just, well, hip-hop needs to elevate. Hip-hop needs to change. Well, maybe it's time for hip-hop to change. Maybe it's time for hip-hop to let the gay community in there. Maybe it's time for rappers to start being gay and start wearing dresses and painting their fingernails. Maybe it's time for that. Maybe it's time for change. No. It's not part of the culture. And I think one of my other streams is going to be about finding a gay country music singer. I'm sure that there's some out there, but they're probably in the closet. And it's all good. I don't want to come off as sounding sexist or homophobic. I don't want to come off as that. I just want to say that it's not part of the culture. Just like it's not part of the alphabet's culture for me to be straight. It's not part of their culture. Like, oh, that's cool that you're straight, but that's not part of their culture. Just like what you are doing is not part of our culture. I can't even believe some of these people that try to have these debates with me on this shit. But yeah, man, the point about Diddy that I just want to make sure I say this, because I know I have my little Diddy rant. The point about Diddy that I want to make is that Diddy wasn't even really getting money from rap. I mean, maybe he was a little bit. Maybe he was. He had Bad Boy. He had a big label. He was signed to majors, distribution through majors. We all know who his mentors were and are. We know that this dude was being controlled. Ye went up on Drink Champs and said that, what was it that Ye said? Ye said that he's a fed. Let me make sure I see your chats coming in right here. Let me just move that over here. Yeah. Ye already went up on Drink Champs and said that he was a fed. And everybody thought Ye was tripping. Like Homeboy said. What was it? The message was true, but the delivery was wrong. Honestly, relatable words, convincing energy. I agree. No Takao. That was my response for Takao. Or are you talking about the voting? We have Takao right up on here, but I see we got some votes coming in here. And before we definitely gotta put that list up, that tier list. So what do we have? Looks like we got 17% for Old DB. We got 30% for Raekwon, and we are at 50% for Jizza. So far, wow, I'm actually surprised about that. Y'all are actually putting Jizza, Liquid Swords, over Only Built for Cuban Links. What did Only Built for Cuban Links? I know it got 5 mics in the source. This was back in the days when the source actually mattered, right? When they were like giving real reviews. You said, oh, that was your response to how long it took Takao to go platinum. Yeah, Takao went platinum pretty fast. Shout out. Yeah, 8 months. And imagine this too, man. That in 8 months, you sold that many physical copies. Now, granted, he had some dope videos on BET and MTV and stuff like that at the time. But it's like, yo, man, He sold, yeah, man. I mean, he was the star. He was the star of Wu-Tang.
Messiah when you're into the target. Nigga, get up, act like a pig, try to hold shit. So I take your ass out quick, the mic's some had it, my nigga. You can suck my dick. If you wanna step to my motherfucking rep, blow, 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 blown to death. You got shot cause you knock.
Right,
Who's there? Another motherfucker.
Yeah, like I said, solo albums. Yeah, you're right. 8 months for it to go platinum. You're absolutely right. And that's a beautiful thing, man. Like, that one went platinum fast. I think that's when they started getting the message out there. That's when people started recognizing, like, okay, who is this Wu-Tang Clan group and all that? Who are they? Liquid Swords was undefeated in cold weather, though. Trust. All right. Let me see what Liquid Swords. I mean, I just think Only Built for Cuban Links was just such a phenomenal album, man. It had all the best beats, rhymes. I mean, I love like I said, for me,
show you how I afforded this car.
Let me read that. For me, Liquid Swords is second, I'd say, for me personally. I want to see what you guys say in your voting, but for me personally, and see, some of y'all probably don't even know what the whole chessboard means right here. In, like, you know, in deeper senses of secret societies and stuff, how they got the chessboard, they open the video up. There's so many subliminal messages too in their music, like how they're standing on a chessboard. I mean, come on, man. Do y'all even know about Masonry? This is like straight up a Masonic image that was already being promoted back then that we don't even really know about. Now you got these rappers, like we said, you got these rappers now that are like demonic rappers. They probably don't even know what they're really talking about because they're being influenced by the Masons to rap about that stuff that they don't even know what the hell they're talking about. Whereas like these guys, they actually knew what they were talking about. You know?
I'ma give it to you with no trivia. Roll like cocaine straight from Bolivia. My hip hop will rock and shock the nation like the Emancipation Proclamation. We MCs approach with slang that's dead. Them eyes are running to the wall and bang your head. I push a force, my force you're doubting. I'm making devils cower to the Caucasus Mountain.
Well, I'm Messiah. I set the microphone on fire. Rap styles vary
and carry like Mariah.
I come from the Shaolin slum.
He said, I'm Messiah. I set the microphone on fire. Rap sounds carry, or he said rap sounds style, whatever, but carry like Mariah. Carry like Mariah. I don't know if y'all really know, man. I don't know if y'all are really knowing, man. I know y'all in the chat are knowing. I'm just saying for later on, people who might be jumping in, jumping out, or the youngsters that, you know, come in and want to hate. I don't think they really know it, man. And furthermore, to add onto that, Inspector Deck is definitely underrated. He's definitely an underrated Wu-Tang member, which we'll get into him in the third chapter. I believe his solo album came out in the third chapter. Didn't maybe make as much noise as the other Wu members, but his album was definitely underrated. I thoroughly enjoyed it. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. The one and only, yeah. Carry like Mariah.
In the alley on fire. Rap styles vary and
carry like Mariah. Yeah, that was it. Rap styles vary and carry like Mariah. Telling y'all, man.
My force you're doubting. I'm making devils cower to the Caucasus Mountain.
Well, I'm Messiah. I set the microphone on fire.
Rap styles vary and carry like Mariah.
I come from the Shaolin slum, and the alley funk is coming through with enough guns. So if you wanna come sweating, stressing, contesting, you got your soft swords at the midsection. Don't talk the talk if you can't walk the walk. Only the outline the chalk. A mad vex is what the projects made me. Rebel to the grain, there's no way to barricade me. Steamroller is like an 18-wheeler.
You said ODB was such a vibe. Yeah, it attracted so many groups of people together, though, with infinite playback ability. Exactly, man. It's like we're playing this music right now, and I don't know about you, but it still sounds good to me to this day.
What the drunk driver driving, there's no surviving.
Rough like Timberland, where? Yeah, me and the clan and yo, the Land Cruisers out there. Peace to all the crooks, all the niggas with bad looks. Bald-head braids.
All the niggas with bad looks.
Niggas play the max, black axe, drug dealer styles with fat stacks. Only been a good for a minute though, cause I got to get my props and win it. Yo, I got beef with commercial ass niggas with goatee, lamping in a Lexus seat and beat straight up and down, don't even bother. I got 40 up in here now who killed forward. My peoples, are you with me where you at? In the front, in the back, killer bees on attack. My peoples, are you with me where you at? Smoking Mac, hitting cats on the block with the cat.
Here I go, deep tight flow. Jack you stole can never get this low.
One of Dirty's best verses.
That's warming up a little bit. Rapping is what's happening. Keep the pockets stacking in, hands clapping in. At the party when I move my body. Gotta get up and be somebody. Gotta go back up to the bone down. Into the Wu-Tang zone. Going up when I rock that stuff up.
Yo, they got a dude right here with nunchucks. Are you kidding me?
The party when I move my body. Gotta get up and be somebody. Grab the back of bone, put strength to the bone.
They got a dude being a ninja, a black dude too at that, being a ninja with some nunchucks. I mean, the creativity is just off the charts here, y'all. I mean, you see, and this is the other thing, man, I was just thinking is that back then we had these rappers that were just so creative and had these creative ideas. They weren't just trying to rap about the same old thing or still have all these girls twerking. I saw this one dude do a video today where he's rapping up on the street and he's got a girl standing on her head twerking. You know, like they do a handstand and they're twerking. And I'm like, okay, but he's like in the street doing it. It's not like he was at the strip club. So I'm just like, okay. Like, does every rap video now have to have some chick twerking? I mean, I get it. I understand that sex sells, but it's like, man, where is the creativity?
Into the Wu-Tang zone, going up when I rock that stuff up. I'm gonna catch up rough, kicking rhymes like Jim Kelly or Alex Haley. I'm a beat a belly rhymes, coming raw style, hardcore.
All right, let's go to. Let's not forget. Let's not forget. Man, I mean, there's so many classics that we can go to. Like I said, it would take us forever to get through the whole Wu-Tang catalog today. We're going through the first chapter, phase 1. But let's go to one of my favorites, and this is, and I want to tell you guys why. Why should have maybe opened that up in a different feed because we had some good videos coming in there. Let me see something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let's do this because we have a good playlist going here. This is a good playlist. They got some good recommendations.
But I don't want the needles.
Except for that. Except for the ads. They have one recommendation. Like, I mean, of course in the algorithm I'm seeing all these others come up like Mobb Deep and Mos Def, and who else did I see come up in here? Nas, Doom. Yeah. But, yeah, Duel of the Mic was definitely dope. I see that come up, Duel of the Iron Mic. We're going to get into that in just a second. But I want to pull up Incarcerated Scarfaces, which I feel like is really underrated. And to tell you the truth, the funny thing is that Incarcerated Scarfaces was not even my favorite song off of Only Built for Cuban Links. But as I've matured, I can like appreciate it a lot more now. Not to mention that I believe Nas is on here too, right?
Politicking on the reg though. Word up. You know what I'm saying?
The Varsity Club. Shout out. Yeah, man. You ain't never lied. The creativity. Yeah, man. There was so much more create. This is such a classic right here. This is why Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links, is my favorite Wu-Tang solo album. Keep in mind, we're discussing the solo albums from the first chapter. I believe that's 92 to 96. Or no, I'm sorry, 94, I think. Wait, let me pull my notes up just to make sure. Let's fact check this real quick. Can somebody tell me in the comments if Liquid Swords got 5 mics in the source? I know only Cuban Links did. But did Liquid Swords get 5 mics in the source? I mean, it should have. And just to make sure that we have the order correct, it's Method Man dropped first. He was the first solo artist to drop from Wu-Tang Clan, which makes sense because he was the star. ODB dropped second, which was really interesting. Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links. Well, technically, ODB, Raekwon, GZA, and Ghostface, or no, ODB, Raekwon, GZA all dropped the same year of 95. Again, like I said, one of the best years in hip-hop. It was just like every album that came out that year was a classic. but not to mention that every album that came out that year was a classic. Wu-Tang, the group alone, had 3 classic albums that came out that year. Method Man dropped in 94, but Ghostface, Iron Man dropped in 96. But he is part of the first wave, 94 to 96. And by the way, I went back and refreshed my memory on Ghostface Killah Supreme Clientele, and I gotta tell you, man, I love it. There's definitely some classics on there, but I also gotta tell you that I got a little sidetracked here because I saw that Raekwon was on Joe Rogan. I forgot that Raekwon was on Joe Rogan. See, Joe Rogan knows what's up with Wu-Tang. Shout out to Joe Rogan, man. I'm waiting for my invite. Yeah. Yeah, you said 4 mics? 4 mics, it's all. One of the illest beats ever. Yeah, exactly. Let me pull your chat up here so I can make sure I can see it correctly. You said many argued that the album's flawless production by RZA and GZA's sharp lyricism easily earned it a perfect 5 mics. Yeah, I would agree. And thank you for pulling that up, man. Appreciate you. Shout out. Thank you, Dartmouth. Appreciate you pulling that up. Thank you. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, for me personally, and let me go back to the voting. What's the voting coming in at? You guys still voting? We got ODB at 17%, Raekwon at 33%. Okay, GZA Liquid Swords at 50%. Maybe I got to cast my vote for Raekwon. So it looks like a lot of y'all that are voting in the system. Okay, but if we go towards the Source magazine is putting it at, and this was when the Source was real, so we can kind of take the Source's word for it. Let me just go back to my tier real quick. We're gonna come back to this tier. This is like some old school footage. You guys got to remember, some of this footage was before the videos were around. So I have my grading system right here because, like you guys know, we call it beatGrade. So we got right here at the top the A, B, C, D, F. Now, we already know, I don't think there's any Wu-Tang albums, at least definitely for the first 3 chapters, that are going to be an F. But let's go ahead and move it up. Golden era right here. See, I created my own tier, my Wu-Tang album list. Let's go ahead and, since a lot of y'all so far are voting for Liquid Swords, we'll go ahead and move Liquid Swords up. What's coming in second place? Raekwon? I mean, I think that both of these albums get an A+ for me, for beatGrade. Now, Liquid Swords, I have to go back and listen to it again. I'll be honest with you, Liquid Swords for me gets like an A- to a B+, just because the reason why I give Raekwon a little bit of a higher rating is because I think that the production on Only Built for Cuban Links is some of RZA's best production ever. You said, yeah, but you're definitely right. The flawless production and GZA's sharp lyricism, perfect for ODB. He skated all over that track, in and out of the pockets like an MF. Yeah, he did, man. Empower. 1995 was filled with stiff competition by then is all. Yeah, you're right about that, man. Shout out to that. Yeah, y'all are making some great points, man. It was definitely, man, it was like every album that came out in 95 was really nothing to mess with, man. It was nothing to F with. All right. Let me get back to Incarcerated Scarfaces. So I have that right there. But I agree. I think that Liquid Swords, actually, you're right. I think Liquid Swords gets an A, too. That's why we call it beatGrade. We're going to grade albums. We're going to grade beats. I think I'm going to do another show like this where we're going to grade the best rap albums of the golden era. And then we can also do old school versus new school, which is the conversation that we have all the time, right? I'm going to play a little classic.
Now yo, what up, yo? Time is running out, it's for real though. Let's connect politics.
I remember seeing this on BET, Rap City back in the day.
Word up, peace incarcerated. Scarface related style attract millions. Fans, they understand my plan. Who's the kid up in the green land? Me and the RZA connect. Blow a fuse, you lose. Half-ass crews get
some of RZA's craziest beats,
fake
man.
Frontin'. Hourglass heads, niggas be wanting. Shutting down your slot time for pumping. Poisonous sting, which thumps up and act chunks. Raise a heavy generator. But yo, guess who's the black Trump? Dough be flowing by the hours.
Guess who's the black Trump? You already said, guess who's the black Trump? Hey, and by the way, I was listening to Method Man's album, the second one, Millennium, and he actually has Donald Trump on his album shouting him out, which is crazy. It's like you won't even hear rappers talk about Donald or Trump anymore. But remember when rappers used to rap about Trump in New York?
Word like peace to power in my whole unit. Word up, quick to set it, don't wet it. Real niggas lick shots, peace Connecticut. Now yo, what up, yo? Time is running out, it's for real though. Let's connect, politics, ditto. We can trade places, get lifted in the staircases. Word up, peace incarcerated, scar faces. Chef but shine like marble, rhyme remarkable. Real niggas raise up, spend your money, argue. But this time it's for the uninvited.
Yo, it's like, this is like, we're like Rap City tonight, man. I feel like I'm Rap City.
Head rhyme to it, big nigga Mike's is getting fired. Morphine chicks be burning like chlorine. Niggas recognize I'm here to Baltimore to Fort Green.
Logan experience.
It was a giant group of you.
Yeah, man.
And everybody was a killer.
Fucking mob, man.
It's a crazy band, man. No one is. If you think about it, there's been a lot of hip hop duos. There's been a lot of producers and MCs. There's been a lot of people that
break it down for us, Joe. Break it down for us.
Get together in like small groups, but there's only one Wu-Tang. There's only one group of 9 assassins.
I tell niggas that all the time. Like,
it's kind of crazy.
You ain't gonna get another one of these.
It's crazy that it worked.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard to keep all those alphas together.
It really is crazy to make it work. The most illest shit. Some shit that I never would have thought would ever exist. It was able to exist because we tried it, but it wasn't normal.
It wasn't normal. Well, you tried it, but it was just, it almost seems like it was just instinct. Like, it's not like a business strategy that anybody would ever come up with.
Right.
9 dudes?
Nah.
And 9 of the realest dudes? Like the rawest, realest dudes?
Yeah.
And it worked?
Yeah, and it worked.
And it worked?
I tell people all the time, it was like when RZA, he came with this whole philosophy of wanting to do it, it was like hitting a lotto for him. Like, he didn't know what to expect. It was more a reputation thing for us. It was like, yo, I want to do this. And, he came to the block and he talked to some real dudes that was really had other shit planned in their life, but hip hop was always like that backpack that we wore every day. But everybody had different plans. So he really literally came in and started to pick motherfuckers that he felt had potential. So it's like the mob. It's like, Lucky Luciano, prime example. He knew that motherfuckers had potential, right? He knew dudes had potential in any way. He's from a different part, he's from a different part, he's from a different part. But yo, what we could do right here is we can make money. So put your fucking feelings down, or whatever the case may be, and let's talk about some money.
Yeah.
And that right there, kind of like, yo, you start shaking hands across the table. Yo, I know you didn't really fuck with me like that, yo. I never had anything against you like that, though. But it was just something that he felt like at the end of the day, let me try this shit.
Well, RZA's a genius, and it's amazing that he was able to coordinate that, because that's often the case, right? With other killers, like when a dude's a bad motherfucker, they always assume that everybody else doesn't like them. They always assume that everybody else is the enemy or competition.
Yep.
So to have 9 of you guys together like that as one group, I told you when I sent you a message, I said that we play Protect Your Neck. It's like whenever we have a police escort, that's what's the most hilarious thing. So we do arena shows, we hire a police escort. So it's like fucking sirens and shit. Protect your neck. And the whole time, it's like the perfect song to play when you're getting a police escort.
Oh my God, I know, trust me.
These young kids that I have at the club, like I was explaining Wu-Tang Clan to them the other night. I go, do you have to understand how wild this band was? I go, when Old Dirty Bastard was in Rikers, they went to Rikers and performed in Rikers.
You remember that?
Yes.
How the fuck you remember that?
I told everybody. I was like, do you know how crazy that is? You're talking about like the biggest rap band in the fucking world, and they're performing in a penitentiary to one of the members who's one of the biggest fucking hip hop stars in the world, who's in jail, and then you guys go into the crowd.
God bless his soul, first and foremost.
Oh my God, Old Dirty Bastard was a classic.
Joe is the funniest shit, because when we came in and when we seen him, he was eating a cheeseburger, laughing and shit. He remind you, he never was, dirty. I never seen him eat, meat like that or whatever the case may be. But we came in, he was eating a cheeseburger and shit, laughing. So we was dying laughing, and they kept, you know, the people up in there, they kept telling us like, yo, y'all can't go into the crowd with everybody. You know, we not gonna hold no responsibility if something happened. So, you know, be like, all right, nah, ain't going in. Once we got on that stage, it was like, fuck the stage. We out there touching everybody. And
wow.
It was love, man. It was
what
a lot of love.
That?
Man, it had to be what? 98, 97?
Wow.
98?
No internet.
Probably like, yeah, none of that shit. Though.
None of that. What? Is there even a recording of that anywhere?
Nah. God. I don't think so. That would.
You know how wild that video would be?
Yeah. I never knew that people seen that. I don't know how the fuck you knew that shit. Like,
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it. I mean,
they
it
loved
was
that stuff.
in the news back then that you guys
crazy.
performed in Rikers.
Yeah. Raekwon, one of my favorite rappers, happy to see that he was on Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? Yeah. You said, Brooklyn, definitely, by its very nature, computer music is incapable of ever becoming classic. Wolfgang Mozart. Wolfgang Mozart? Is this a quote that he said or someone said? I mean, how did he know about computers back then? Let me screenshot that so I can make sure we can look this up. Yeah. Liquid Swords got 4 mics. Oh, did it? Only built for Cuban Links got 4.5. I could have sworn that Cuban Links got 5 mics. Let me go ahead and look that up while we play this.
Yeah, man.
The 90s for hip hop, it was like people need. You have to understand. For young people, you grew up with hip hop. You're only 20 years old. I get it, but you have to understand from my perspective. In 1980, there was no hip hop. In 1992, that was all anybody gave a fuck about. That is crazy for a new art form.
To emerge, right?
Right. I mean, there was like Sugar Hill Gang. There was some hip hop, but it wasn't the thing until the 90s. And 90s hip hop.
That's what I've been trying to say. I'm so glad.
Look,
why does it take Joe Rogan to be able to say this, man? Is it because we're from the same? Well, you know, he's older than me, but I'm just saying, it's like, why is it that we have to always keep repeating this to people, man? That in the 80s, hip hop was still a baby. It wasn't fully formed yet. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't fully formed yet. But I want to make sure you guys can hear me all right. It was like, but he's right. Like in the 90s was when it became a thing. Like that's when it got serious. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there was like Sugar Hill Gang. There was some hip hop, but it wasn't the thing until the 90s. And 90s hip hop.
It got big. It got big. Yeah.
It got so big.
I remember. It's so crazy you said that because I was trying to say this yesterday. Like, disco to me,
it was not super mainstream yet.
It was hip hop before hip hop was. You know, disco, R&B.
I have no idea exactly.
Everything was a mixture. It was a mixture. So really, when hip hop came, like you said, it came like maybe I'm gonna say 80s, 85.
It had to be 84 because I was in junior
85.
high school.
Yeah, we was young boys, right? So I would definitely say, you heard something and it was like, oh shit, motherfuckers is rhyming. This shit sound cool though. You know what I mean? It sound cool. But really, it was a way to bring people together. You know, that was going through different shit in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the real culture of hip hop is. Not what y'all are thinking. Not what these people are saying about. Oh well, you know, it should be about getting money and twerking and dancing. I mean, yeah, that could bring some people together, but I don't. You know. Yeah. Deck is one of the best lead off. Yeah, batters. I agree, man. I think he's definitely underrated in the Wu.
Yeah, and you know what? It was earlier than that because in '84 I was in high school, so it had to be 80. Because
82,
I was in high school. I was a freshman in high school in '81, so I heard Sugar Hill Gang when I lived in Jamaica Plain, which was in 1980.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I'd ever heard any kind of hip hop.
Yeah. So like we said, 80. Yeah, I was 10 years old. So me probably really gravitating to it. I probably was like 12, like you said. 12.
What
82.
was the first hip hop that really grabbed you? Do you remember? Do you remember like what was the shit that you were first into when you were a kid? All right, folks, it's that time of year. Everyone is on a
skip these ads, but I understand everybody's got to pay their bills. So hit that like button too if you can.
It's so
going
easy
down
to become
memory
a
lane, man, and we looking at some real hip hop right here. You know, I saw this interview come up in the archive, and they're having a really good conversation. I mean, you know, Joe Rogan's gonna do it right, you know, but it's like, yo, man, shout out to Rogan for having Raekwon on. I think he's had the Riz on too. He hasn't had Method Man on yet though, has he? But yeah, that's dope that he had Raekwon on.
They used to live two floors above me, and I used to sneak up there and shit, and just be in their business, be in their world, and they would be playing music. They had the record player, you see coke on the table and weed and everything. And my cousins, they was cool. They was like, yo, come in, man. We don't give a fuck. Like, just don't tell your mother that you was around and shit. You know what I mean? Nah, I ain't gonna say nothing. And I would just be watching, and I would see weed on album covers, and you know what I mean, just motherfuckers running back and forth in the room, and they in the shit, but they always was playing music, and a lot of the music was R&B, disco. And the next thing you know, I heard this fucking record on Sugar Hill Gang, and I'm like,
all right,
the groove.
So we'll get back to the classic
kind of
albums.
explicit lyrics. They wanted to put a stop to it, and that's why they put. And these dumbasses, they didn't even understand. It sold way more albums.
Yeah.
Because that's what kids were looking for.
Exactly.
Where's the fucking? They don't even swear. Get this shit out of here.
Once they got the label on it, it's like I want it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Once the floodgates got open and kids got turned on to like real hardcore hip hop, you couldn't sell the
regular shit.
The regular shit is like, get out of here with that.
Yeah, I think that you're right about Inspector Deck. He's definitely underrated. Like I said, his solo album is one of my favorite solo albums from the Wu. But I also think that Raekwon, who you see right here, though, I think Raekwon's a little underrated from Wu-Tang too as well. That's why I'm happy that
There's a few guys who got through with regular shit, but it just didn't last.
Nah, it definitely didn't last. But like you said, though, everybody wanted the raw shit. And you got to remember at that time, it was a tough time, man. Too much shit was going on. I mean, it was to the point where it's like, yo, in our neighborhood, we had like crazy people. Like, if they catch you at night, they'll kill you. Like, they be dressed up like a fucking drag or whatever, all this makeup on. And, I remember one time going to the incinerator room. My mom's made me go to the take out the garbage and shit. I forgot to take it out. And she came home later that day, and I was laying down, and she fucking smacked me in the head with a broom. Like, yo, didn't I tell you to take out the fucking garbage? I just dropped it back then. So,
right, that's the big shift is crack.
Yeah. People going on in the community, man.
Wow.
It was a serious time. It was scary times back then.
But if it's not for those scary times, you don't get the kind of band that Wu-Tang was. Like that has to emerge from an authentic experience.
Absolutely.
It has to.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the appeal of it, is that everybody kind of knew that. It was part of the appeal. There's never been like a genre of music like that's so connected to like the grind and poverty and crime and ghettos. Like the whole genre of music, to be authentic, you had to come from that. You couldn't be like some rich kid from the suburbs that was talking about some shit you never actually experienced. Nobody wants to hear it, which is kind of crazy.
Right, that's true. I mean, back then, hip hop was really an expression for the ghetto.
Oh man, they're just breaking down so much knowledge in this conversation. Surprised that I didn't see this sooner. But see, this is the point that I'm making to y'all right here, man, is that this is why I'm playing this right now. Because these are the conversations. This is the exact conversation that we were having yesterday. Oh, yeah, Nas is on verbal intercourse. Thank you. Yo, some of your comments might be coming in a little delayed. I'm not sure, but at least I'm seeing them. So just if I read it kind of late, just letting you know, that's why it might be getting read kind of late, because I think it's coming in with a little bit of a delay. But at least I'm seeing your comments. Yeah, man. But what he's talking about is that
the
shit you never actually experienced. Nobody wants to hear it. Like the whole genre of music, to be authentic, you had to come from that. You couldn't be like some rich kid from the suburbs.
You couldn't be some rich kid from the suburbs doing hip hop or talking about that experience in hip hop. But now, that is like exactly what is going on, is that most of the people who are rappers are rich kids from the suburbs. Yeah. Most of the people that are rapping are rich kids. Let's see. Yeah, you said 4 mics. Dartmouth, you said you enjoyed my commentary. beatGrade. No, Bruno. I appreciate you, fam. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Shout out, man. Let me get you a round of applause for that. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate that. Thank you, fam. Only Built for Cupid links originally got 4.5, and later it was upgraded to 5. Yeah, because people probably were like, what the hell were you thinking? Like, you guys are stupid. You know what I mean? To give this 4.5 stars. They should have low-key upgraded, what's it called? They should have low-key upgraded Liquid Swords too. But like I said, I think it's the impact of Ice Cream as well. You know, that's just such a phenomenal song. And isn't Meth on the hook of that too? Yeah, he is. So it's almost like another version of Cream. And it's called Ice Cream, right? So shout that out. I think it's the whole purpose of Cream, Ice Cream, Method Man on the hook, same formula, Raekwon. They didn't have Inspector Deck on it, but he got Ghostface instead. And then it's the debut or the opening of Capadonna, right? And we could pull that up for visuals because I think we do have. Let me put this over here. I think we do have. Let me see. Let me just make sure. I think Cream is on phase 1. Cream is on the first list. Let me just make sure I got this pulled up. I mean, I know this song. I think I know the lyrics to this song. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's a dope video. Such a classic. French vanilla, butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Yeah, Method Man had a dope ass verse on here, man. Butter, pecan, chocolate deluxe. Watch these rap niggas get all up in your guts. I'm just like, yeah. French vanilla, butter, pecan. Yo, I think this song is what really made it get them big, and then made that album just go do what it did. Let's hear a little bit more of what they were saying though, because Joe Rogan and them, he's definitely breaking it down. Like he was breaking it down so much to where I can't believe that this is what I'm hearing. And I tried to go out there and say to these people, hey, this is what hip hop is about. And they don't even want to hear it. Maybe because you're not as famous, or I'm not as famous as Joe Rogan yet. But it's just like what? Like, oh, okay, but here's Joe Rogan. He's up here saying it. And it's like, yo, and he's a white dude, which is cool. But I'm just saying, like, he ain't even from the hood, or he ain't from that community. But it's like, yo, he's got to come up here and tell you what this is about. Happy late Wednesday for the unruly general. Yeah, it's all good. The Vault, what's good? The Vault 7. Appreciate you being up in here, man. We just going over the Woo Wednesday. Exactly.
Was talking about some shit you never actually
experienced.
Joe
Rogan's talking
Nobody wants to hear it,
right?
Which is kind of crazy.
Right, that's true. I mean, you know, back then, you know, hip hop was really an expression for the ghetto. You know, the way that being that we was living in fucked up situations and nobody had shit, nobody had no fucking jobs like that. It was like, yo, we needed something to keep us cool, keep us in a vibe mode. You know, back then gangs was still relevant. You know, we never looked at ourselves as a gang. We might have looked at ourselves as a tribe. That yo, when you from a neighborhood and you stick to your neighborhood, you know what I mean? And that's why even back then it was like a lot of times, you know, you would beef with people that wasn't from your neighborhood just because you wasn't from here. It's like, yo, what the fuck you doing over here? You don't live over here. You know, then it creates this animosity thing. And I remember for us, you know, being in an area where it was like you go up the block, stayed up the block, down the block, stay down the block. So for me, I was in the middle. So, you know, I lean more towards up the block, you know, but then we would go down the block just to start trouble. And, you know, then they would come up the block and they would start trouble. And next thing you know, before you...
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact, too, that Rogan brought up about how
shit that
they all, like, all these alpha males just being in the same room at the same time, how they were able to make it work when a lot of people just can't even make it work at that level. You know what I'm saying? Or it's just kind of strange how it is now, where it seems like, I don't know, like I was saying yesterday, it seems like there's a lot of groups today, or like groups that started back then, and it's like they all don't get along today. They don't, like A$AP Mob, or like A$AP Rocking on him. He just did an interview where he don't get along with his people. Some of them do, but you know, Young Thug. You hear about a lot of groups that don't stay together. They're all beefing. Whereas Wu-Tang, they've always kept it solid, man. You got to give them props for that. You said, what is my top 5 Wu songs from this era? You mean the ones that just came out recently? Or you mean the ones that stood the test, you know, since they dropped? Which ones do you mean? Yeah, which Wu songs are you talking about?
That made it fun, but made it spooky. But it still was fun because it was something to remember. It was like,
well, it's fun because you survived.
Yeah, definitely. You know, the survival, but we were young, so we didn't care about whether we live or died at that time. We didn't give a fuck.
It's crazy.
Like, whatever's gonna happen is
Red
gonna
flags.
happen.
That's wild.
But the music is what.
Hey, but he's talking
kept
about what it
things
is, man.
In order for us, because we always felt like that was a vessel to being calm. When you come from somewhere that's fucked up, Joe, and it's nothing there, you can't get a job because of your community, your zip code don't allow you to be
speak
like,
on it.
He's hired. No, it's just too infested over there.
Didn't I say this yesterday, man? To that secret agent, that federal agent who jumped on the call? And he was trying to act like, oh no, man, things are much better now. I mean, maybe in some ways, yeah, that could be true. But it's like, hey, when Wu-Tang was dropping, that wasn't that long ago. It really was not that long ago.
So you kind of become relaxed with that mentality of saying, well, fuck it. I'm going to live off the land. I'm going to sell
I like
weed.
how they got together.
Do whatever I think that is going to make me survive, So everything was just survival. When music always kept us calm, and you always want to listen to what's the next being played. Like I grew up on R&B music, like disco and
that's
all
cool.
all that fun shit, roller skating. I knew motherfuckers in the neighborhood that was roller skating.
Trying to tell y'all, man, this whole thing about the money, you know what I'm saying? Like taking over hip hop, the whole thing about the money, right? Let's skip this. What I'm saying is that, like Homeboy said, Dartmouth, like how you said earlier, this was a whole thing that was like done and infiltrated by Diddy. It's obvious. Oh, the top 5 from 93 to 95, period. Oh, yeah, for sure. That's the best. That's like the best era to me. Well, definitely I got some on the wall too, man. Wu songs? You said what is... Let me make sure I read that correctly. You said what is your top 5 Wu songs that are... Because you said when you said from this era, that's what threw me off. I'm like, what do you mean by this era? Or you just mean like what I'm thinking right now, or the era of 93 to 95? Now I got you. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I'd say pretty much the ones that are on this list. This man right here, Raekwon, the chef. Cuban Links, I would say Jizza. You're right about that. Jizza, Liquid Swords. And then let me pull up my list, because I wanna just see the list again. I'd have to say ODB. You're right. They're all pretty much from that era. You know what's another one that's kind of underrated that a lot of people forget about? There's one that's underrated and it's kind of from the era. It's not really in that era, but it's right after it. It's like 98, or it is 98. And I remember having this album on CD, and I thought this shit was dope as heck. It was actually one of my favorite Wu albums, and it made me respect him more as a rapper, because when I first heard him, I was like, yeah, he's all right, he's cool. But when I heard this album, I was like, yo. And the cool thing, too, is that this album was given to me when I was interning at a record company. And so they came over and they gave it to me because they knew I like Wu-Tang, of course. I'm a Wu-Tang fan. They're like, oh, yeah, well, we just signed one of the Wu members. Here's the album. The album was Capadonna, The Pillage. That album was a little underrated. Capadonna, The Pillage. Yeah, man. So I might throw that one in there too, is what I'm saying. I might throw that one in there, maybe. Because like when I think about it, I kind of like it. That's why I wanted to look at my list. I like Ghostface Iron Man, but I also feel like that might be a little too predictable, right? That might be a little too predictable. And when I think about it, I think I actually like The Pillage better than Iron Man. Like, I like the beats on it. I like Capadonna's raps. So, yeah, if that's 5.
And also, Jizza and Old Dirty, they were a part of the nation at that time. So they would go to a lot of rallies. This is a place where everybody go when they build. They talking about mathematics and all of this. But it was Jizza and Old Dirty who instilled the hip hop into RZA. So RZA was a DJ back then.
See, told you he was a DJ.
Too, and he knew how to rhyme because of his cousins. So they kind of had this gang called, not a gang, but they had this thing called the All In Together Now crew, which was them three, and they would run around and they would battle, you know, different guys from different cities and move around. So, you know, some of us kind of knew what they were about. You know, a lot of us, you know, found out later who they were. But when Jizza and Old Dirty came to Staten Island, they came in and hang out with their cousin. So, you know, we started to see them a little bit more and know that, you know, yo, I heard about your rhymes. And, you know, and Dirty, he was just a crazy motherfucker back then. He was crazy. But, yeah, they had their own little thing going on. And then, you know, next thing you know, Jizza caught a record deal. He caught a record deal, which was rare back then. Like, if you fucking caught a record deal, that mean that you had to have relationships. You had to.
See, told you. This is actually pretty dope because he really is breaking down the history of Wu-Tang right here in this interview. And I don't think that I've really heard a clearer, more concise, or better interview of this. You know what I mean? He's telling us the story right here. You said Tom Hardy, a.k.a. Oh, yeah. I know about Tom Hardy. You said his album drops 8. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Doesn't he rap? He raps. I got to hear his new shit. When I heard his older stuff, I wasn't really too impressed, to be honest with you. But hopefully his new stuff sounded better than his old stuff. But yeah, I know he's a Wu-Tang fan, and I know that he raps. Yeah.
Know where to go. You had to have some.
That's dope. I forgot about that project that's coming out. I got to check it out. You put the fire emoji, so I'm assuming you think it's dope.
Some type of connects. So that's what gravitated RZA into wanting to do it, because he seen that his cousin was able to, you know, crack the code on making a record. So when that happened, it was almost like it magnetized RZA to be like, yo, I got to make a record now too.
I gotta go back and hear this.
Yeah, they had their own little thing going on. And then, you know, next thing you know, Jizza, you know, yo, I heard about your rhymes. And, you know, and Dirty, he was just a crazy motherfucker back then. He was crazy, but he caught a record deal, which was rare. And then, you know, next thing you know, Jizza caught a record deal. Yeah, they had their own little thing going on. And then, you know, next thing you know, Jizza caught a record deal.
Yeah,
he caught a record deal,
said Jizza, not
which
RZA.
was rare back then. Like, if you fucking caught a record deal, that mean that you had to have relationships. You had to know where to go. You had to have some type of connects. So that's what gravitated RZA into wanting to do it, because he seen that his cousin was able to, you know, crack the code on making a record. So when that happened, it was almost like it magnetized RZA to be like, yo, I got to make a record now too. You know, and the next thing you know, they had their movement going on. So us from the outside looking, it was like, oh shit, yo, we know them. We know they super passionate about, you know, being in the game and doing whatever they're going to do, but we wasn't thinking that far. We just loved the music in general.
Wow. So RZA is essentially the mastermind to put all the pieces together and to bring all you killers into under one roof.
Absolutely.
Amazing how he saw that, because again, that's not something that existed.
Yeah.
It's like Eric B and Rakim. You know, there was a few EPMD. There's a few people.
You know your shit.
Yeah.
Though. You know your shit. You
Gangstar. There's a few people that were together, but it wasn't like you guys.
Nah, because
it was kind of scary. It was like, God damn, when you guys had a show. I mean, I heard stories that it was just like you guys would show up like 300 people.
Yeah, that was some neighborhood shit, but yeah, like you said, that was so rare to see a group that come out like that, and it was really a mistake. It wasn't really designed to be that way, but when RZA had a record situation and they tried to make him be something that he wasn't, and then, you know,
always the case.
You know what I mean? He was like, yo, fuck that. I don't even care.
They tried to make him be something that he wasn't. You see what I'm saying? Like, rappers back then had way more pride, man. They didn't play that BS, whereas like now, I think, man, they got these rappers singing and dancing and jumping and hucking and jiving, like they say, doing anything for $1. You know what I mean? They're up there tap dancing, like literally tap dancing for $1. But, you know, that's another reason why we have to respect the culture, is because back then, it wasn't about selling out. If you were selling out as a rapper back then, it was just very frowned upon. But again, to go back to Homeboy's point, I think it was Dartmouth who made the comment. Let me see if I can go back up and find it. Yeah, man. To go back to your point, to what you were saying about Diddy and all that, it's just like, obviously, Diddy was a sellout. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I guess we all know that now. You know. Let me say it like this, yo. Let me say it like this. There's some parts of Diddy that I respect. I know it's going to sound crazy saying that. Like, I think some parts, keep in mind, I said some parts. What he did with his vision for his record company in the beginning, and other artists like Mary J. I think he also worked with Jodeci. You can't front on what he did and what he brought to the table in some ways for the record business. But I think you're right. I think that there was a point where, for some reason, he got chosen by the powers that be to be the one. And maybe he was willing to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? He was willing to do all of that. Whereas like Raekwon, how we have here, and some of these other rappers, they wasn't trying to do that. They wasn't trying to do all that. So they was like, nah, we good. We good. We gonna keep it real. We gonna keep it real with this one. You know? That's what I think. But who knows? But let me go ahead and say, man, he's speaking some truth.
This level, no more. I want to create this now, and I'm bringing in all my guys, and you know, he just put that number together. So believe it or not, I was one of the guys that he called first, because we used to hang out. Like I tell people all the time, like, yo, I might have been RZA's first, you know, big fan. So I kind of seen something in him already. I seen something. I'm like, yo, this guy really, you know, him and his cousins, and I'm like, yo, these motherfuckers really got talent. You know, not only the ability to rhyme, but they was clever. Like, I'm talking about clever rhymes.
Right.
You know, and they was mixing it with the knowledge and, you know, smart rhymes. Not these fucking regular Humpty Dumpty lines. Like, I'm talking about serious rhymes. I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, yo, so, you know, this is something that I felt like I would want to go chill with them, just to be in the mix and be a fly on the wall. Wasn't even thinking about being no fucking rapper. I didn't give a fuck. I just love the music, but I'm watching these motherfuckers, yo. I'm like, something about these motherfuckers that I love.
Yeah.
You know, and next thing you know, when RZA went out there and he came back to the community, he was like, yo, I caught a record deal. So, you know, I was there. I'm like, let me see this shit, looking at this shit. See what the fuck is, oh yeah, I'm looking down here, like you said, the what's the name? The
fine print.
Yeah, the fine print and shit. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker made a record. Oh shit, yo. Wow,
different back then.
That's
Plus, they was in New York.
You know, but
I think New York was way more active at that time too, and way more like ready to sign dope rappers. And if there were consciousness, like, I think because, you know, y'all got to take this into consideration, and this is what I was trying to tell that one homie. Hip hop was just becoming a genre at this time. Like, it was like people used to say that wasn't real music, or that's not real music. Nobody thought that rap would be what it is right now, or what it is today. Nobody saw this coming. I mean, no, actually, let me take that back. We saw it coming, but the record industry, you know what I'm saying? The companies, the corporations, they didn't see it. I mean, you already heard they messed up. Tommy Boy could have signed Wu-Tang, but they, you know, they couldn't see it. Yeah, they couldn't see it, man.
But his situation ain't work out the way he wanted it to, and that's when he came back and he started to be like, yo, Chef, this is what I'm trying to do.
The universe doesn't give you what you want. The universe gives you who.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you just saw it right now. But yeah, I see what it is.
In every industry is when you have potential and you're young, you sign a fucking contract and you don't know what's going on, and then you get locked into these people, and then a lot of times you're getting fucked. And you don't even know you're getting fucked.
It's a mandatory.
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 You're getting fucked, which is how they make their money. They make money by fucking young artists who don't know any better. And by the time someone gets to like a Prince's level, he's like, "Oh, you owe me? I'm a fucking squiggly line. Suck my dick." And like, he performs as a symbol. I mean, that's why he performed as a symbol, because they owned him.
Yeah.
It's crazy. You take like the most talented people in the world, and they get owned by people who provide no value.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Yeah.
Today it's even crazier, right? Because there is no record sales anymore. It's all gone.
It's over, baby.
It's all gone.
Are we really talking about this here? Whoa, this Woo Wednesday just went into a whole different topic. It just went into a whole different topic, man. He's talking about we ain't even selling records no more. We ain't even selling records anymore. Not at all. So it's like, oh, man, I don't know. We could definitely have that conversation. That's for sure. But like I said, I was about to jump back over here to see where we were on the album. But let's see. It looks like we had a couple more votes come in for Raekwon. So it looks like you got Raekwon and GZA Liquid Swords about neck and neck. But let me keep in mind, man, don't forget that Ghostface Iron Man is kind of around this same time. So if you feel that Ghostface should be in there, make sure you put them all up in there. But now I find this conversation very interesting. Now I want to see what they're saying about record sales are no more. I mean, we got streaming, right? But do we really consider that real? Or is it all artificial?
So for a young artist, it's so record sales anymore. It's all got value.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Yeah.
Today it's even crazier,
Oh,
right?
you
Because there
already
is no record sales anymore. It's all gone.
It's over, baby.
It's all gone.
It's
so
over.
for a young
Saying it's
artist,
over.
it's so important that they stay independent as long as they can. Just like you're hanging off a bridge. Hang on.
Yeah, that's what you
hang
can
on
do.
and keep grinding.
Yeah.
Don't you.
Yeah.
Especially today.
Yeah.
Today
Yeah.
it's even crazier,
Oh,
right?
you
Because
already
there
know.
is no record sales anymore. It's all gone.
It's over, baby.
It's all gone.
It's
so
over.
for a young artist.
So basically right there, man, they're telling you that it's done. This is why I don't know if I can really agree with everything I hear when these kids try to bring up these streaming numbers and try to say like, oh yeah, well so-and-so got like 1 million streams. And it makes me really think like, are we comparing that to the record sales of before? Are we really trying to do that?
It's so important that they stay independent as long as they can. Just like you're hanging off a bridge. Hang on.
Yeah, that's what you
Hang
can
on
do.
and keep
You
grinding.
got
Don't sell it. Don't sign.
order
If you
signed
sign,
by
you're going to be
him.
fighting that shit
Pair
10
of
years from now.
kicks.
Yeah.
You're going to be in court 10 years from now.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're right.
dope.
And somebody's going to be getting.
Signed by who? Who are you talking about? The Varsity Club. Who signed the kicks? But that's dope, man.
Not just 50%, but like some fucking insane. Like Bill Burr was explaining this about his first comedy CD, that he got a 60-40 deal. He's like, oh, great, 60-40. But it's not really 60-40 because he has to pay for all the
Everything,
distribution,
everything, yeah,
all the printing of the CDs. Everything came out of his money.
Let me ask you a question. Put yourself in an artist situation, right? You have talent, right? You have talent. Here it is. I got everything you want.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to make some sacrifices.
for sure.
Because you know that, yeah, you may feel like, yo, I got talent, but I don't have the resources.
Right.
So those resources come and tell you, yo, look, I'll give you a shot. I'm gonna give you a shot, but either you take this shot or you stay in the hood. What are you gonna do?
You're going to take the shot.
You're gonna take the shot,
You're going
right?
to take the shot. And I
Okay.
agree with everybody who takes that shot. I'm just letting them know.
Right.
I'm just letting them
look.
know. You're getting fucked.
You're getting fucked. But see, it's the sacrifice that I'm trying to
Yeah.
explain to you that every artist takes. They takes that sacrifice because at the end of the day, you have to start from somewhere.
Right.
So even when labels are being them, in my mind I'm saying, yo, I get a chance to have a job, Joe. Niggas ain't never had no fucking job in their life. And now we get a chance to do something that you
you
could
love.
maybe think that you could change the world with and love. It's like you're gonna go for it. So for us back then, being kids, we didn't give a fuck. We didn't care about signing. Yo, I'll sign because
Exactly.
what the fuck I gotta
Exactly.
lose? I done been through everything. I done.
That was the one part that Joe Rogan probably kind of missed just a little bit, was that was the only way you could get on back then, was to sign a record deal. There was no internet. That's how they were able to get on TV. They were able to have their videos played. You had to have resources. Notice that Raekwon keeps bringing up the key word, resources. That's the point. That's the point that I'm making right here. You know what I'm saying? You said there were hip-hop wars going on around this time. Underground backpackers versus mainstream commercial. Yes, you're very right about that. Great point. East versus West. It was hectic. Yeah, Ego Control 101. Yeah, man. Great point, man. Shout you out for that comment. I'm glad you made that point. Because, yes, like when you had groups like Wu-Tang and other groups like that were coming out, there was that war. You're right. Like with Diddy and all these guys being too commercialized. And that was the whole point I was trying to make earlier on the stream before. Is that back then, you had way more of a balance. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was way more of a balance back then. You didn't just have mainstream rappers. You also had conscious rappers too. And you didn't just have gangster rappers either, right? There was like a more of a balance that was going all ways around. But now it's like Well, you can see that now it's like they slowly started phasing these rappers out. The conscious rappers, that is. That's what they started doing. They started phasing out the conscious rappers, and they only left a few of them in there. Okay? And hear me out on this. They left a few of them in there. And Wu-Tang was one of the ones that was trying to battle the fight, which they did, and they pretty much won the fight to a degree. You know, because of the timing of when they were able to come out. But I have always said this, and I wonder this still to this day. Would Wu-Tang Clan have been as successful if they would have came out today? Like, would people have understood that? Wu-Tang was pressured to be politically correct, yet they took subliminal shots at Bad Boy. Oh yeah, definitely. With the Shark Biters, they definitely were talking trash about Bad Boy on Shark Biters and copying was it Nas? Yeah, copying like the album covers. Copied Nas's Illmatic, the concept. And you see, that's the whole point. It didn't even have to do with just raps. It had to do with also like album covers, your whole style, your whole artistic vision, visuals. The whole thing, man, the whole persona. And if you were copying other rappers back then, it was considered whack, and the culture didn't appreciate it. I mean, you heard Joe Rogan, right? You heard him say back then, which is true, you had to be authentic. You couldn't be fake. Now you have rappers. Remember, like, even if they were from a rich community, right? Remember this? Even if they were from a rich community, okay? They still at least would try to hide it. Like Vanilla Ice. They would try to hide it at least. Whereas now, the interesting thing that I find in hip hop is that they don't even try to hide it anymore. Like, we know that you're rich. You actually have told people that you're rich. Yet, when you do your music, you talk about growing up in the hood. You know, it was kind of like T.I.'s son. He's not the only one I'm thinking. There's another rapper that was doing it, where he was like in the NBA, and we all know that he came from money, and then he started pretending to be a gangster. But yeah, even T.I.'s son. And didn't T.I. have to check his son and be like, yo, man, you can't be rapping about that. You grow up in a gated community. Psh, get out of here with that, man. Get out of here. So it's like, it's funny how like now they don't even hide it anymore. Like now they're just be like, yeah, I'm rich, but I'm gonna rap about this because that's what I want to rap about. Even though we know that you've never been in that part of a lifestyle. And I'm just telling you, man, hip hop has definitely gone to a weird way. You said Wu-Tang would not be appreciated by the masses today. Exactly. I didn't know what sound effect to play for that. But you're right. How about that one? You're absolutely right, man. I don't think that Wu-Tang, had they would have dropped today, even though their music we can all see has stood the test, it's like, I mean, come on, 36 Chambers went platinum 2 years later. That should show you right there that obviously it made its circulation, again, like I said, around the country. And everybody was like, yo, this shit is dope. It wasn't like it stood out for a little while and then people kind of started to realize that it's trash. Kind of like Lil Wayne. Now maybe y'all can see, some of y'all can see why I just am not really a Lil Wayne fan. You know what I mean? Like maybe now some of y'all can see, because this is the music that we were really listening to. And yes, and Lil Wayne came out shortly after shortly after, what was it? The Diddy era, and when Diddy started changing the whole format and making people like rap about getting money. Jay-Z was kind of doing it too a little bit. We can't put it all on Diddy, right? We can't put it all on Diddy. Jay-Z was doing it too with the girls, and the what else was it? The big pimpin', spending cheese. I rarely agree with certain mainstream or somewhat mainstream people's opinions when it comes to hip hop. But this one person was making a good point where they had brought up that Jay-Z at one point was talking about like, yeah, how he's like big pimping, spending cheese, all this stuff, and that he would like never wife up a chick. Ain't no telling will I love him, will I diss him? Ain't no telling when the Remy's in the system. Will I love him, will I diss him? However it goes. I'm just like, okay, wow, that's like a big change. Obviously, I mean, he was young at the time, right? But that's like a big change from that to like now being married with Beyonce. I'm not really making this point. Somebody else had brought this point up, but I was like, oh, yo, that's a valid point. That's a valid point. Jay-Z definitely wasn't talking about married life at one point, and that he would always be a player. So he was definitely one of those two that were talking about getting money. It wasn't until Nas checked in with Ether that it was like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I agree with your point, Dartmouth. I think that Wu-Tang would not be appreciated by the masses today. I think a small niche group of people will appreciate Wu-Tang. But overall, nah, they wouldn't understand it. I think it would be too far advanced for the average person to understand. I mean, you got to remember, these guys were playing chess, reading books, and watching kung fu movies all day. That's a whole different generation of a thought process. I don't even think half of these kids can even concept that. They're too busy watching streamers do weird things to each other. Let's just put it like that. You said Monty Mintle is considered the best MC by university professors around the world, and his vinyl is very expensive. He still remains unknown to the masses. One of the purists, you said only the purists of the purists are familiar. Well, hopefully it sounds familiar to me. It does, but you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure I've heard the music, and thank you for the shares and the likes coming in. Like I said, it doesn't cost you all anything to like the video. So make sure those of you that are watching right now that you're liking the stream. We're having a Wu-Tang Wednesday conversation. I think I will start doing the Wu-Tang Wednesdays, and which I think is good, man, because I think we need history. We need to go back and look at history. But yeah, I gotta remember that. I'll go ahead and save that though. Like when you guys always recommend music and stuff, and like I said, I probably have heard it before, but let me pull it up on my other screen for my notes. I probably heard it before. Like I said, I'm just not always familiar with the names, but yeah, it definitely looks familiar. Yeah, man. I want to say Joe Rogan and Raekwon are spitting some knowledge right here, though.
I done been over here. I done been kicked out of everywhere. Fuck it.
Let's pull it up.
I just want to be heard. So a lot of time that be the protocol is just to be heard.
Yeah.
To be heard, to be able to say, yo, something happened. I don't give a fuck. A lot of artists got robbed. A lot of artists, and especially our OGs that did it before us. Like, you know what I mean? Sugar Hill Gangs, all these different guys. They all have been manipulated to do what they had to do, but it almost gave them power too, because they became famous, they became big, they became legendary.
There's an argument for that, but I think it should be more fair.
Oh, listen,
That's
I'm with you.
Oh, of course
I'm with you on that.
You are.
But we just talking about the
what
sacrifice.
You got to do. You have to do it.
Sacrifice is everything.
If you're a young kid and that's step one, and now you're on the runway, okay, you got to take it.
You got to take it.
But
you got to take
it just should be more fair.
Oh,
and it shouldn't be.
I agree.
It shouldn't lock people
And I'm
in
sure
for
later on.
I see what Joe Rogan is trying to do. He's trying to like play the other side of it. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, dude, that's not how the record industry works. And you should know that because you do TV shows and comedy and stuff like that. So you should definitely know that. But, you know, he's at a level now of fame where, you know, Netflix will pay him to do whatever. But I get it. If what he's saying is to call out the record execs who take advantage of the artist, which is what I think he's doing, then that's cool. He's right. It needs to be said because they're most likely still doing it. So, and this video or this interview came out how long ago? About a year ago. So it's still pretty, it's not too old. I mean, this is still kind of fresh. I thought I heard about Raekwon being on Joe Rogan recently too. I just never watched it. But, man. They're spitting some facts right here. I like how they're spitting about the record industry too. You know what I mean?
Things worked out, and you know, now that you proved yourself,
once they become undeniable,
you know, it's like I tell a motherfucker this. I'm like, yo, imagine you were a hustler, right? And you run into the Connect, and the Connect say, yo, you talking like you know how to move shit. I'm gonna give you 50 pounds of marijuana back then. You know what I mean? Now you may feel like at the end of the day you can handle it, but a motherfucker tell you, Joe, I'm giving you these fucking 50 pounds. But I need my money back today. At this time, you can either take the 50 because you're so fucking confident, or take one and say, yo, I'd rather take my time. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in debt with you. What are you gonna do?
You gotta take the 50.
You go, oh yeah.
You gotta take the 50.
He wants to fucking get his head fucking chopped off.
You gotta take the 50.
I don't know.
You gotta know people, and you gotta bring everybody in, and you gotta share the money.
See, you gotta know people.
You gotta share the money.
You gotta know people. Now, if you ain't confident in knowing what the fuck you need to know, I advise you don't take it.
You shouldn't be having that conversation if you don't know anybody. But if you know some people and you're generous, that's the thing. You gotta make it worth these people's while. Right. You gotta say, listen, we're all gonna get something out of this.
And see, now look, that philosophy that you said is what we took on.
Yeah.
See, they're talking about some real stuff right here, man. A lot of these people won't even know. They talk like Joe Rogan and Raekwon right here having a real conversation. They're having a manly, masculine, mastermind conversation, which is needed to have amongst men in business. Keep in mind, man, we in the room right now with millionaires right here. We're listening to some millionaires talk. You know what I'm saying? This is millionaire talk right here. These are men who have built their own businesses and became multimillionaires. We got to listen to what they're saying. Dartmouth, oh, yeah, you said, who's my favorite top 3 Wu members? Oh, yeah, good question. I saw that earlier. I wanted to get to that. I just wanted to play the video. The delay's not that bad, but thank you. I saw that. Let me think about it. Damn, shit tastes good. Let me think. Raekwon, I think I've said before. It's kind of close between the Jizza and let me see real quick. Again, let me pull up my notes. Yeah, you know, I probably, you say 3. I thought you said 5, but yeah, 3. I would probably say Raekwon out of 3. It's a tie between Jizza and Method Man. And then I'd probably go with like Inspector Deck. It used to be RZA. RZA used to be one of my favorite rappers from Wu-Tang. He's still up there for me, but I still like RZA, but I think I respect Inspector Deck a little bit more. Wu-Tang around that time exposed all the coolest people of society. If you listen to Wu, then you were cool. Of course. Shout out to Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang reminds you of ancient Egypt. It got everything in there for you. Shout out to that, man. Shout out. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was definitely thinking about doing an episode on Egypt, like how they don't talk about Egypt. Because those of you that know my my lectures, and thank you for coming to my my lecture. Those of you that know, I always bring up the conversations I've had with KRS-One and how we would always talk about Egypt and how it's so relatable and intertwinable with hip hop.
Yes.
Just
everything that was going on there and everything that's going on in hip hop is very similar.
At the end of the day, we'll take this little bit of money, but we're gonna be willing to sell ourselves to get to this level
Yes.
because we know what we believe in. See, it all starts from what you believe.
Yes.
If you don't have the belief in yourself to make it happen, you fucked.
It's a rising tides lifts all boats thing too.
Oh,
and with
absolutely.
Wu-Tang Clan, that was for sure a big thing because anybody that was associated with
that was
Wu-Tang,
pretty powerful.
That you said?
Yeah.
That's what we took on.
Yes.
We took that on.
Yes.
We said, you know what? At the end of the day, we'll take this little bit of money, but we're going to be willing to sell ourselves to get to this level
Yes.
because we know what we believe in. See, it all starts from what you believe.
Yes.
If you don't have the belief in yourself to make it happen, you fucked.
It's a rising tides lifts all boats thing too.
Oh,
and with
absolutely.
Wu-Tang Clan, that was for sure a big thing because anybody that was associated with Wu-Tang Clan was automatically respected. Automatically, people wanted to listen. Automatically.
Yeah.
Automatically. So like that just lifts everybody. That lifts everybody. But it's hard for people to see that. Everybody thinks about themselves, especially when you're
Yeah, you said Wu-Tang Chambers is very deep. Yeah, man, exactly. So I think we'll put on a few more classics that we need to hear. And
struggling. When you're struggling, then you're scared, and you know, and scared money doesn't make money. That's what it is. Everybody gets paranoid. And they think,
listen to millionaires
no, that's when you got to bond together. That's when you have to find real people and stick together.
You said the key word. You
gotta sell that 50.
You got to know your
We got to sell that 50.
Yeah.
Talk to Carlos. Go down to the bodega. Let's make a deal, man. We got to make some deals.
I guess
we got
that's
10
what
hours.
RZA did. Is that
Yeah.
he danced with the devil for the right reason, and you know. We took some scars. We got hit.
It was a different world back then too, in terms of the industry. Because today, all you need is a social media account, Spotify, SoundCloud.
Yeah,
you can blow up.
Yeah.
You can blow up today.
Yeah,
back
easily.
then, you needed the radio.
Yeah.
You needed, you could
I don't
sell
know if it's that
mixtapes.
simple anymore,
but
though.
it's hard.
So I said, like, the way Joe Rogan is talking in this, like, he's making some very valid points, especially about the streaming. But I don't know if it's really that easy to just blow up now just because you have a SoundCloud page. I mean, and that's another thing. Like, I don't think people are really on SoundCloud like the way they used to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're on SoundCloud anymore like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, there are some people that are trying to make a comeback and saying like, oh, okay, you know what? We got to bring SoundCloud back because of the streaming services are not paying people enough money. So it is starting to go into that realm.
Started off on the island.
Play a classic. That Cuban Links jacket is still fresh to this day. That jacket right there. Yeah, that jacket right there is still fresh to this day. I think this is the other conversation that we were having. Like, if you see Ghostface in the background, this is when I think rappers were rocking like Tommy Hilfiger and stuff like that. I don't know if that's a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, but I know Ghostface definitely doesn't he have a rap where he talks about Hilfigers? You see, that's what I'm saying, man. We're looking at some historical archives right here, man. Make sure you guys like the stream. Give a couple likes. Double tap the screen. Give a like, do all that stuff. Doesn't cost you all any money. Make sure you guys support the stream. Yeah, man, because like I said, this filmography and the way this is filmed, it's not just about the raps and about the music and the beats, even though that's a big portion of it. It's also about the whole concept and the visuals. You feel what I'm saying? The visuals were just immaculate, ahead of its time. Best era in hip hop. One of the best eras in hip hop. One of the best. No doubt about it. I think that there's very few that can disagree with me on this. And that will say that this is not one of the best eras in hip hop. And if you do, which I doubt, but if you do, which I doubt, I will have to tell you that you're possibly hating. You're either uninformed and uneducated on this topic and don't really know real hip hop. Like those of you out there that go around saying that Future is hip hop. You don't know real hip hop. You don't understand hip hop culture. And let's not get into all the other topics and all this other stuff. Let's not get into all that. Let's just say that there's no way you could say that this isn't the greatest era or one of the greatest eras of hip hop. No way. All right. Let's play the clip.
Off on the island, AK Shallon, brothers wailing, gunshots thrown the phone down. Back in the days of 8 now, making a tape now. Ray gotta get a plate now. Ignorant and mad young, wanted to be the one till I got loud. Yeah, my pops was a fiend since 16, shooting that's in his bloodstream. That's the life of a crimey, real life crimey, and others know the habits behind me. Day one, yo, growing all up in the ghetto. Now I'm a whip. Jet in the palmetto in Medina, yo, no doubt the guard got crazy clout, pushing them from down south. So if you're filthy stacked up, better watch your back and duck, cause these fiends, they got it cracked up. Now my man from up north, now he got the law, it's solid as a rock and crazy saw. No jokes, I'm not playing, kid is folks, Desert Eagle is joint and put him in a yoke. And the note for sure, I got wreck and rip shop, I pointed at the safe box.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Hold on. Yeah, classics back then. But you see, you said some backpackers had beef with Hilfiger back then. Polo always got love, though. Exactly. Well, yeah, that was the stream that we had earlier this week where, I don't know if you heard it or not, but we were talking about like how there was a rumor. We don't know if it's officially true. Hilfiger didn't really deny it, but he also didn't really clarify it either. But there was a rumor that went out saying that he didn't really support hip-hop. It said some other things too, but we don't need to get all into that right now. But that he didn't really support hip-hop. And then he went on Oprah and all this other stuff and denied it being true. So then obviously there was a big protest throughout the nation where people stopped rocking Hilfiger. So that's what I'm saying. Like when I saw this video, this reminded me of the video that came up in my head when we were talking about it, because I was like, wait, wasn't Ghostface and all them? They were all about the Hilfigers back then.
Right now, boy.
But yeah, that jacket that Raekwon has on right there, I think he turned it into a Cuban Links jacket and he re-put it out, didn't he? He did a only built for Cuban Links re-edition of that jacket. I was gonna buy that too, but I think it was like, I forgot how much it was. Let me see. Let's see if we can find it real quick. But yeah, he did a re-release of that jacket, yeah. And hold on, here it is right here. I just want to make sure I pull up the right one. Yeah. This is it. Oh yeah, the screen's over here. Yeah, he did a real release of this jacket, which was super dope. Supposedly they got it on eBay. I don't know if it's the real version, but you know. The other thing is that Lynx Beach. That's what it says. Okay. My bad. Lynx Beach. Looks dope though. I'm feeling it. I don't know if it's the same jacket though, because his jacket looks like it says something different. Not sure. Anyways, dope jacket though. Nonetheless. But yeah, $800. Yeah, I guess that's why I didn't buy the jacket yet. Get it right here on eBay for about $800. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that. Maybe later on, but I ain't paying $800 for a jacket.
Right now, boy. Word up. Dedicated to the winners and the losers. Dedicated to all Jeeps and Land Cruisers. Dedicated to the 5s, 850i. Dedicated to
Yeah, you said Raid and get Ghostface saved real figure. Yeah. Well, at that time, yeah. Well, there's a bunch of people that were rocking it too, though, right? You had the R&B singers and all them too as well.
Kicking the fly cliches, doing duets with Ray and A. Happens to
probably can't Ghostface's best verse, one of his best verses.
my day. Though I'm tired of busting off shots, having the rock knots, running up in spots and make it hot. I'd rather flip shows instead of those hanging on my living room wall. My first joint and it went gold. I want a lamp, I want to be in the shade, plus spotlight, getting my roll all night. I want to have me a fat yacht and enough land to go and plant my own. But for now it's just a big dream, cause I find myself in a place where I'm last seen. My thoughts must be relaxed.
Can it be so simple? Can it be so simple again? Yeah, man. Like we said earlier, the creativity, the delivery, the beats. Let's also not forget this beat by the RZA is such a classic beat right here, man. It's such a classic beat. Just I believe it's like a Gladys Knight sample or something. The way he flipped it, those guitars, boom, doo-doom, doom, with the sample, genius, man. Snow Beach is most desired now. Yeah, I'd have to see it. So interesting for the 13 people that we have on the stream, and then of course we got some on TikTok, but it's not showing us the full amount because I'm doing it on the streaming. But yo, man, we got these many votes coming in. Not too many people that jumped in because I think it's been sitting with Raekwon and GZA tied for a minute in the poll. If you guys look over in the chat, you'll see in the poll we got a poll going. I don't know. You may have to click on the poll to be able to see it. But if you guys click on that, because I know, like, and shout out to Dartmouth. I appreciate you commenting in the chat section, man, and making it happen. I appreciate you. Yeah, man. For those of you that are on the chat, you guys can like the video. It helps the algorithm and it helps us get this message out here. Because I don't know about y'all, man, but I feel like we speaking on some real hip hop right now. So, you know what I'm saying? Definitely helps if you like the stream. And it also gives us the push when we get ready to do the next one. Because, yes, we definitely will be doing more of Woo Wednesdays. And for right now, what I have up here is I have for my tier so far. I mean, really, all of these albums can be an A. That came out during this era. But if I had to be realistic for now, I'm going to go ahead and put Iron Man as a B. Really B minus, C plus? Nah, it's a B minus. Yeah, it's a B. The reason why I give it a B is because it's really dope. And I think it is one of my favorite albums from Ghostface, but I feel that the beats are not as up to par as Liquid Swords or Only Built for Cuban Links. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Where should ODB go? Like I said, I don't think any of these albums are below a C. That's for sure. That's for damn sure. None of these albums are below a C. But where should he go? Should he go to the A? Should he go to the B? Or should he go to the C? They'll tell me where ODB should go. We'll come back to that one. But yeah, tell me where you think. Let's make sure we didn't miss anything else on this one.
The fuck up.
Such a classic, man. So raw.
With their highly anticipated debut.
That's the cool thing about the RZA is that you could tell that the RZA really did, and I think still to this day, really believes this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, they're 5%ers. So I don't know if he still is a 5%er, possibly. But, man, I got to tell you, at this time, this was like a real serious consciousness. And for those of you that don't know what the 5%ers are, you should definitely look that up. Because it's basically telling you exactly what is going on today or right now, and especially with the internet and social media, and now with the rise of artificial intelligence. It's crazy, man. You guys got to remember something. When he was spitting this knowledge, this was before the internet, or before the internet was, shall we say, worldwide. The World Wide Web. WWW, aka. Okay, so I don't think like we really understanding here the knowledge that's being put and placed right here, and how he's explaining the title to you, 36 Chambers, and what it really means. It's deep, man. I don't think that these rappers are really, well, maybe some. I don't know, man. I don't think these rappers are really putting this much time or that much time and energy into their music like the way they used to. I really don't think they are. Because, I mean, just look at some of the album titles that came out just recently. You had Kendrick Lamar, GNX. He names his album after a car, which is cool. Classic car. Not knocking it. But I'm just saying, is there really a lot of thought put into that? I'm going to get a bunch of West Coast rappers, name it after a West Coast car, the car that's really famous in the West Coast. Not to mention, I think Denzel Washington drove it as the crooked cop in Training Day, which takes place in L.A. So, okay, there's a lot of that thought process behind it, and I get it. There was the battle and the beef. But it's just like, is it really deep level Wu-Tang knowledge type of thinking? Nah. Not really. Then you have Drake, who drops Iceman. Where first we're like, Iceman? What does he really mean about that? But then he goes and he takes a picture of himself with Michael Jackson's glove that he bought. One of Michael Jackson's glove. I know a lot of y'all find it hard to believe that he bought it for only 100,000 or a little over 100,000. I know a lot of y'all find that hard to believe, but it was one of Michael Jackson's gloves that I believe he got at an auction. Okay? So that's why he called it Iceman, because he was rocking the Michael Jackson ice glove. Don't get me wrong. Again, I like the albums. I like GNX and I like Iceman. Cool albums. But I'm just trying to tell you, are these rappers of today really putting the thought process into their lyrics and their albums and the whole meaning and the whole concept behind the albums, like the way rappers were doing today? If you guys are feeling what I'm saying, make sure you like the video. Smash that like button, like everybody always says. It don't cost y'all nothing anyways, man. Don't cost y'all nothing. Same thing with y'all on TikTok too, man. Between here and TikTok, I have about, YouTube and TikTok, I have like nearly almost 50 to 100 people watching right now, and we only have 3 likes on YouTube. What's good, yo? I have like over, you know how many likes I have on TikTok right now? I have over 300. Shout out to those of you on TikTok, man. Shout out Juggalo. I just saw you right now. You said you got the Wu. Oh, wow. Okay, shout you out, man. You said you got the Wu-Tang tatted on your leg. Shout you out, man. You said check out your YouTube channel. All right, for sure. Make sure you put it in the link. Put the YouTube channel in the comments. Like I said, man, I always check out, or I do my best to check out what people send. The mic quality back in 93. All right, yeah, man. I'm going to check it out. Shout you out, man. That's dope that you got the Wu-Tang tat. It's a dope logo. I mean, I'm rocking it right now, man. It's a dope logo. You know, that's another thing. The whole concept that we have here there's a lot of a thought process that goes through this. And for those of you on TikTok, you might not be able to see the poll, but DJ Crystal Clear, all right, got you. Shout you out. Make sure you like the stream too before I go check you out. You got to get something to get something, you know what I mean? Got to get something to get something. Make sure you support the stream too. We got to look out for each other. But also on top of that, appreciate you, fam. Also on top of that, let me make sure I got you up here in the link. Let me make sure that. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Wu-Tang is definitely dope. And for those of you on YouTube, if you could please support the channel, it definitely helps, man. It helps the stream, helps me to be able to pay the bills, get the message out there. I really appreciate y'all, man. We got like nearly 20 people liking the watching the stream on YouTube, and we have 3 likes. What's up with that, man? It don't cost y'all nothing. But yeah, man, make sure you guys support.
36 times 10, 360 degrees of perfection. Gotta be mighty. This is our livelihood.
Radio program, they program you. Keep in mind that this was said back in like way before social media and way before the internet. It's really like a lot of this is really ahead of its time. I really love how RZA is saying to you. See, I've always appreciated though RZA's genius, and you could just tell he's the mastermind behind this whole philosophy of Wu-Tang. You could just tell. Shout you out. You said, yeah, of course, man. Rampage, of course. Flip Mode Squad, all that. Well, I don't support Busta Rhymes no more. I've met Busta Rhymes, as I've said before, in some other streams, and nah, he's a punk, man. I don't represent him anymore. But I agree with you though. They definitely did have some classics and some classic producers. I can't front on that tip. But yeah, but today, now we're in Thursday. But today we're talking about Wu-Tang. This is Wu-Tang Wednesdays. We're coming off on the Wu-Tang Wednesdays. But we'll definitely discuss all those other rappers that you're mentioning. Because, yeah, I see the rappers that you're saying. We definitely have mentioned those rappers before. Those will be done when we discuss the whole golden era. But today we're doing Wu-Tang Wednesdays. So why don't you do this for me, Juggalo? Why don't you put in the chat, what is your favorite Wu-Tang album from the first chapter era, which is, what was it again, y'all? Those of you that were on YouTube, we had, what are y'all voting right now? Oh yeah, we have ODB, we have Raekwon, we have Jizza, we have Method Man. Who, like, yeah, stay on subject. That's what we're gonna have to say when we start taking these calls. Like when people start calling in on the show, which I don't even know if I'm even gonna continue to keep doing that, because after I started studying these other streamers and these other people that do hip hop shows, like I said, they don't even take calls from other people, and if they do, usually it's people that are in the industry or that know what they're talking about. It's not just some random people who have no idea what the heck they're talking about when it comes to hip hop culture. Like, well, Future is part of hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? Like they have The Real Me. Oh, Future's new album is called, guess what? The Real Me. Nah, that's trash. That's trash. Yeah, no, that's dope that you are a youngster that knows these dope ass albums, man. I mean, you know, usually most people that know what's up know real hip hop. Future is part of the trap culture. Yeah, I agree. He's like the one that created mumble rap and started the trap culture. You said Liquid Swords is your favorite. Well, you know, congratulations. That's a classic. Let's go ahead real quick and let's add that to the list. Let's add that to our list. Well, we have Liquid Swords up here as an A. All right. So Liquid Swords is definitely an A. For right now, since we don't have any votes on Method Man, we're going to put Method Man right here at C. And if you guys can see here, let me just move the comments over a little bit. Shout out to all y'all, though, that are watching and commenting. I appreciate y'all. You don't see it better right there? Or nah, I can't see it right there. Yeah, so I have the A, B, and C. So since we don't have any votes for Method Man, as of right now, I'm going to put it as a C, although I think it's a better album than that. Y'all voted for ODB, right? We'll keep the vote. We'll keep the poll up just a little bit longer. Look, we got like 17. It keeps going back and forth between 17 and 20 people, which is a good amount of people. I'm not mad at that. You know, that's enough. That's enough to fill up a decent sized room. Okay. Like I said, I don't care if there's 50 people in here, 100 people, 1,000 people, or 10 people in here. Yo, can y'all get us some more votes that are here so we can vote on these albums? We have Raekwon and GZA still tied at 43%. So which one is better? Is it Raekwon or is it GZA? We have 17 people in the chat. Shout you out. Thank you. And shout out to some of those that are the members too. Shout you guys out. Thank you. Let me ask. Can y'all give us some more votes so we can see who goes on to the next level? That's what we need to see right here. You said ODB's album is meh to you, so you think it's mid? Oh, you chopped and screwed all these albums. Okay. Nah, that's cool. That's cool. I'd like to hear it. Let me say this. What about Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links, man? To be honest with you, Raekwon, Only Built for Cuban Links is my favorite. But I hear you, GZA, as I said so before, GZA, his second album is my favorite, but I disagree that ODB's album was I mean, I get it because the raps were kind of strange, but the beats, as we were playing earlier with like the Brooklyn Zoo and the other songs and the shimmy shimmy, I mean, come on, man. He's got some, like, ODB is a different type of a rapper. I don't even really consider ODB like a rapper, even though he is hip hop and he is part of the golden era. He's like a different type of breed. He was like just a whole different essence of rap, like how he would sing and harmonize. Like this dude was harmonizing and singing, and you got to keep this in mind. This was before auto-tune, and like he sounded good. Like he had the right melodies. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, Empower. That's the thing that I respect about ODB. That's the one thing I really respect about him, because I remember listening to his album too, and the impact that it had on me and my friends, not just me, but also my friends and all that. Like, they were all bumping it too, all Wu-Tang albums. But I remember the ODB one. We were definitely bumping. You kind of had to be around at that time too. See, I understand. Like you said you're 30s. You're a millennial, right? Or no, you're actually not a millennial. Or you're on the cuff. You're like on the cuff of millennial Gen Z. That's what you are. So I kind of understand why the album would be okay to you, but Liquid Swords is definitely a classic regardless. But yeah, what about Cuban Links, man? So since we got a vote for ODB, do we have any more votes coming in on YouTube? Thank you for being active on TikTok, though. I appreciate y'all. Do we have any more votes coming in on YouTube? What's up? Or any more likes coming in on YouTube? You said you found myself in place where I was last. GFK. Oh, Ghostface. Yeah. For sure. Ghostface is definitely classic. All right. Well, I guess for now that we're going to leave it at that for 43%. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put ODB, since he did get a couple votes on YouTube. And you said it was I was going to put it at A. But since you kind of gave it a grade where you didn't really feel it that much. I'm going to put it at a B. What are your thoughts on Ghostface Iron Man? Iron Man better than Cuban Links. Oh. Hell no. Not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. I think the beats alone, the production alone on Only Built for Cuban Links is 1,000 times better than Iron Man. Like, I don't think that Iron Man has the hits that Cuban Links has. Like Homeboy said, Verbal Intercourse, Incarcerated Scarfaces. Yeah, obviously you are. Yeah, what was the other one? Ice Cream, which Ghostface is on, by the way. That's a Wu-Tang classic. Like I said, you have Cream, and then you have Ice Cream, which is like the part 2. And it's the same formula. If you look at Ice Cream and you look at Cream, it's the same formula with the 2 verses and Method Man on the hook. Same formula. But again, happy Woo Wednesday. Thank y'all for joining in. We'll continue just a little bit longer. Make sure I get some likes coming in, and we'll see how much longer we go here. Coming in on YouTube and on TikTok, please. Usually we also do Facebook as well. Let me say this. I like how RZA said right here again. You know, it's all about radio programming and how the radio, you know, they program you. Yo, again, keep in mind, y'all, this was before the internet. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to remember this. This was before the internet. So imagine that they already had these concepts and these thoughts, and were telling you that the radio and all of these stations and television and all this and that is programming you. They're programming you on what to think, on what to buy, what to wear, what to eat, what to drive, where to live. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you all, they're programming all of this. It's only a certain people. And this is some of the things and the teachings of what the 5%ers believe. There's some people out there that were like, nah, we don't believe this. We don't believe that. We ain't gonna believe what you telling us. We don't believe that. And like Dartmouth had said earlier, appreciate you in the comments. He said there was a war going on between the consciousness and the mainstream, which was like pop rap. You know, the beginning before the whole, you know, trap rap and all that stuff where it just really got degenerate. But it was like the mainstream rap. You know, like we all know, Diddy, Puffy, he was the beginning of that era where rap is not going to be just about the streets and the thugs and hanging out on the street corner and trying to come up and all this stuff. We ain't going to talk about that. Diddy was like, nah, man, we're going to talk about getting money. We're going to talk about getting money, being a bad boy, because that's what the girls like. Right? And him and Mace were really, oh man, like him and Mace were really, I mean, we just got to pull it up for a second. They really were about that, man. They really were about that, man. They really are the ones who are responsible of like taking this hip hop to like a mainstream level of getting money, cars, being rich, multimillionaires. I don't even know if Mace was even a millionaire yet, especially after the way we hear him talk about what happened back in those days. He don't really talk too much about it, which is interesting. But every now and then on his show with Cameron, he'll say little things. And it's like, I don't think he was really getting money that he would like the way he was portraying. It's the whole point I'm trying to make here. You see what I'm saying? This was the beginning of the fake rapper era. Like, oh, don't worry if I write rhymes, I write checks. This was the whole beginning of that, which motivated a bunch of rappers to start getting money. And you got to remember something. Diddy was like already kind of mainstream for a long time. He was mainstream for a minute. Like way before Jay-Z and all them. He was already doing it. He was already putting out albums before Reasonable Doubt. So you got to understand, Diddy had been talking about getting money for a long time. But the interesting thing about Diddy is that, and it's interesting how they're wearing yellow like the Wu-Tang, but it's not that, not quite. Diddy had been talking about getting money for a long time, right? I hated this video when this video came out, where they're all dancing in the thing. This is so Diddy. This is so Diddy right here. This is...
Taking it right there. They leave me no choice.
This is so Diddy. It was like another era of him, of like MC Hammer, like with the just shiny shoots and all that, and the dancing and all that. It was like he took what MC Hammer was doing in Vanilla Ice, and then he just like found a way to like kind of flip it. He was, you got to give it to Diddy in some ways, man. Well, right here, this is when he was puffy. You got to give it to him in some ways, man. Like, he was kind of genius in some ways, or is genius, you know, in the way that he was able to take that whole thing and flip it, and it's like fake, but it's also not really that fake either. It's like it's kind of real too. Because like the way he's doing it, it's like he is still, it's like it's almost like it's hard to say. Like, is Diddy hip hop? See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference between hip hop culture and these rappers who pretend that they're hip hop. But the interesting thing about Diddy, when I really think about it, is that I think that he actually understands hip hop culture. Whether you want to say that he is hip hop or not is up for debate. But for right now, I will say that I believe, and the way that he dances and the way that he portrayed himself and the fact that he signed Biggie Smalls, amongst others. I'm not talking about what he did or what he did later on or what happened in the contracts. I'm just talking about the fact that he knew that Biggie knew how to rap, and he was like, I'm going to be the one to put him out there. That takes a level of genius and skill to know that. So it's like, yeah, on that note, the fact that he did put out Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., we have to say that Diddy is hip hop. He is. He is. To know that, he is. You have to understand. You know what I'm saying? You have to understand, like, there's certain vibrations and frequencies that not everybody's going to see. And, like, certain people know how to tune in and they know how to tap into that. Not everybody knows how to do that. So, on that note, yeah, I see Diddy as hip-hop. But that's the scary part about Diddy, if you really think about it. That's the, like, the evil genius or yeah, in a way. That's the evil genius of Diddy, is that he knew how to take those elements and turn it into something else, man, and make it like just this pop multi-million-dollar machine. And he had the resources, keynotes. He had the resources and he had the people behind him to help him achieve that level of success. But yeah, man, but then you're right, you had your Wu-Tangs and you had other people that were coming out that were challenging that. And that's where I go back to the RZA's point from Wu-Tang, where he said they have the radio programming you, telling you what to wear, telling you what to buy. Like Diddy was all about that. Like, wear this, dance like this, rock this at the party, drink this, pass the Cavassier, drive this car, consume. Part of American culture, capitalism. That's the point that I'm making, man. Some of these rappers were now understanding the culture and getting paid to push an agenda. Whereas the rappers of today, and this is where I'm coming around with the circle of this right here. The rappers of today, I don't even think they understand what the hell they're doing. I think they're so manipulated and being controlled, and industry plants and such puppets. You see, some of these people, they don't want me to go and give my takes. They're afraid to hear my takes. Shout out to TMZ though. TMZ took a chance on me. Like how Raekwon said, TMZ, they'll you know, some people out there be like, okay, we'll give you a chance. So shout out to TMZ. Shout out Harvey and Charles. They gave, you know what I mean? Like, they're not afraid. Like, I can't believe that we got YouTubers out there that are afraid to have me on their show because they know that my takes are just so real. But we got a major television network that put me on before some of these YouTubers who I see at the local club. You know, we know what it is. It's some people just be hating and they don't want you to steal their shine. They know that you know what you're talking about so much and you're so dope that they know if you go on their platform, they're like, well, damn, people might think that he's smarter than me. I don't know if I could have him on my show. You see me, man. I have these debates all the time with people, even we know they're wrong. Everybody in the comments saying that they're stupid and that they're wrong or they're dumb or they don't know what they're talking about. And I still will debate them just to let other people know. It's sometimes it's not always just about proving your point or proving that you're right, even though that's what you're supposed to do in a debate, especially hip hop. But sometimes it's just about, other people need to be educated that there's other people that actually think this way, that they have been so brainwashed and manipulated that they actually believe that some of this shit out here is hip hop. And this is why a lot of people have been saying that we need to separate the genres. But yeah, man, I think that Diddy was definitely hired by the agencies. And make sure you guys give me some likes if you feel what I'm saying. Like the video, and don't forget to hit my PayPal and my Cash App, which you see right here in the red writing right here. Hopefully you guys can read that okay. But yeah, beatGrade. I really appreciate the support. Appreciate everything, man. Even $1 helps. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, man, I think that Diddy was definitely sent by the powers that be in the industry, and they gave him the resources to pretend like he was getting money from music, but he really wasn't getting money from music like that when he was filming these videos and all that stuff. I think he was just getting money because he was getting funded by the industry, and they were giving him the resources to do what he did. Now, of course, because he had so many resources, he was eventually able to make that money. But it was like he got a lot of funding to portray this persona. And that was my point again, like about what's his name? Mace. I don't think Mace was really getting paid like that. Yeah, 112 Vera. LL Cool J is reasonable or responsible for pop rap. Yeah. You said, do I think you're weird for liking Will Smith music? Nah, I don't think so. Here, let me put my Cash App right here for you. Thank you for asking, man. It should be on the screen. You don't see it on the screen? But there, I just put it right there. Thank you, Jugga. I appreciate you. $ beatGrade. That's $ beat, like a B-E-A-T, like a music beat, and grade like you graded paper in school. One word. $beatGrade. But shout out, man. Any contribution definitely helps. Helps me pay the Wi-Fi. Helps me pay the bills. Yeah. Should be coming up right about here. That's the PayPal. But yeah, if you see it right here in the red scroll, and make sure you guys give some likes on YouTube, man. We got like 20 people liking the stream on YouTube. You said, what's the picture on it? Should be a picture of a bee. You know, like the logo. Here, let me pull it up right here. I don't know if you have another phone, but let's see. I can pull it right up on the screen. I'll play this while I pull it up. If you type in if you copy and paste what I just sent you, the Cash App tag, $beatGrade, like you just see right here in my profile name, it should come up. But the picture should be a picture of our logo. Picture of the bee. The blue bee. The bee with the logo. I'll pull it up for you right now. Let me play this while I pull it
also, and we live this shit, and we just want to let y'all know the truth of it instead of keep giving all them illusions that these other niggas is putting aside.
Good performer, and that reminds me, there was another clip that I wanted to find real quick now that I think about it. Method Man was always a really good performer, and Wu-Tang was smart because, like, Rage Against the Machine, remember they like did a tour of Rage Against the Machine and all that? They knew how to command a crowd. They knew how to rock a show, and they knew how to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, let me see. I'm pulling up some footage right here that you just reminded me of. Method Man was always a really good performer. He's a good rapper, good showman. Yeah, man. Hip-hop was like way different back then, man. Way different. Y'all remember Rhyme and Reason? Was it Rhyme and Reason or the show? Oh, it was the show. Because they had the show with Russell Simmons, and then Rhyme and Reason.
Peace, yeah. Let's get down here. Yeah. True. Take the show. You know what? That, yeah. Side to side. Yeah.
We heard that Wu-Tang is sort of like a movement, and there's like 150 members all together, and you have some sort of...
I got an answer for that. Wu-Tang Clan rocks the world. Alright? Wu-Tang Clan rocks the world. We gonna have Wu-Tang out here as soon as... us being out here for these little 3 days right here, by the time we leave, we gonna have like 50 Wu-Tang members here. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna keep spreading. I mean, our numbers grow every day.
1, 2. See what the comments say.
Show your love, yo. 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 It started off on an alley.
You said you've been paying for YouTube since 2020, was tired of the ads. Yeah, I agree with you, man. That's dope. Yeah, man, you got to get the YouTube Premium. That's what I'm gonna do eventually. That's why you guys' support always helps, man. You said, is ICP Hip Hop Wu-Tang Clan performed at the gathering of the Juggalos? So did the Ghetto Boys. Yeah. Classic, man. A lot of people want to see another Ghetto Boys group too.
Back in the day, so ain't that, making the take that.
Tokyo.
Wu-Tang, they was always like the bad guys in the flicks, or with a cause. So we like the bad guys in the industry with a cause, you know what I'm saying?
Smoking wools at 16, running up big gates, doing hits by high stakes. You know what I'm saying? We like to get that money, boy. Anything. Anything it take to eat, anything it take to live a better life, we was on to get that money. Anything. Positive, negative, it's just all about getting there, getting ours. Y'all doing, man, it's like, man, we live the life, man, there's so much rough shit, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like a nigga grew up in a 3-bedroom apartment, right, with like 16 niggas in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Some nights you couldn't have nothing to eat, man. I remember my mom sometime, man, used to put vegetables on a plate with no meat.
They're just loving it, man. They're loving it out there in Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. And they're still like that, man. That's one thing I respect about other countries is that when it comes to hip hop, they just love real hip hop. They don't really care about the money and the cars and all that stuff and all this and that and how much you can flaunt and all the materials you have. They just want to hear some real raps, especially in Japan. I'd also say Europe. I'd say Amsterdam. Like Amsterdam, I've been to Amsterdam before, and that was one thing I could appreciate about Amsterdam is that, yo, like you feel the hip hop culture out there. Like you could just feel it. Like everybody out there is like just artistic or about it. Everybody's like chilling. You see people rapping on the corner, just chilling. Like the whole vibe in Amsterdam was like crazy to me. Cause I've been in New York too, and I was like, man, like New York is dope too, the way they get down out there. But I feel like Amsterdam was like, damn, these dudes are like on some other shit out here. I was like, no wonder most rappers always make a stop. If you notice that when rappers do tours, all the big rappers and the independent rappers, they usually always stop in Tokyo and in Amsterdam. And that's for a reason. Because the hip hop culture is so lit out there, man.
Now, young people, you see lots of people who has a dread.
Keep in mind, this is like 90-something. This is like 90-something. Like 95, 96. Or should we fact check it? Let's fact check it. When did the show come out? Russell Simmons. Let's make sure, because there's a lot of them, right? 1995. So keep in mind, man, this is 95. Way before the internet was released to the public.
Now, young people, you see lots of people who has a dread, you know, go to the tanning shop, get, you know, dark skin. Shops. That's a part of culture, I think, you know, we try to, you know, catch up with, you know.
Nice to meet space.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know what I'm saying? I get loves all over the planet, wherever I walks, planet Earth, you know what I'm saying?
I think hip-hop artists is more active, you know.
You guys got to remember, this is before the internet. Imagine if they were posting all this stuff online. Like, it's good that they went to Tokyo with the whole camera crew and they filmed this and then they put it on a movie on a DVD because, you know, Method Man was signed to Def Jam and Russell Simmons was the executive producers of this. You know what I'm saying? Juggly, you said, do I listen to Kool Keith? And of course. I know Kool Keith personally. I know, like, shout out Kool Keith. I met him a few times. I know him personally. I know people that work with him. I know people that have shot music videos from him and Vinny Paz. Of course, I know Jedi Mind Tricks. Yeah, I mean, I know not the average knows Jedi Mind Tricks. I know Immortal Technique as well, but or know of Immortal Technique. Well, Immortal Technique gave me a drop, which I think we might have on YouTube. Since I have you both on the stream, let me see if I can pull that up too real quick. I don't know. Maybe I didn't put that up on YouTube yet. I should. But, yeah. Shout out to Jedi Mind Tricks. Shout out Immortal Technique. Yeah, man. They're all dope. All dope. But, yeah, it's just crazy that this was out before the internet.
They have more curiosity. They want to go out, you know. But I think that the media has such wrong information, you know, bring a lot of image of the artists. When artists get here, it's just different, you know.
Yeah, they always lie about other countries.
Media has such wrong information, you know, bring a lot of image of the artists. When artists get here, it's just different, you know. They are much more nicer.
Saying that they make them look like gangbangers and gangsters and all that and stuff, and they're all scared of them when they see them on TV. But then once they get over there, they see that they're a lot nicer and all that's just an act. It's not really just an act. It's just that there's no reason for everybody to be so scared of us. We know how to act in public. It's just that the internet, I mean, I see the racist comments and tweets that go on the internet all day, man, especially on Twitter. And it's just like, yo, man, don't put everybody in that box just because that's what you see a lot of these fake rappers out there pretending to be. Don't put us all in that same category.
I can't just smoke some regular weed and write, because regular weed it don't really do nothing for your thoughts and shit. But when I smoke some headbanger boogie, some of that fucking Hawaiian shit and all that other good shit, I write.
It's just how we come into this shit, man. We been smoking weed, we gonna keep it like that.
Yeah. I already steak, look.
Watch man.
That shit, 4 pieces.
You got 2 right there. Yeah. There's another one over there, man. You don't want to eat a steak over there.
Check this out. Nigga need a haircut. Real bad. And I can't get no weed. I'm feeling it like.
You're not allowed to smoke weed in Japan, I don't think.
I'm sick.
What's that?
Yeah. We'll watch this real quick because this is one of the greatest performances.
Yeah, check it out. Yeah. 1, 2.
This is when Wu-Tang was at their peak right here. This performance right here, this is why I wanted to pull this up real quick. If you haven't seen this is on the show. I highly advise you guys to go back and watch this. But yeah, this is definitely Wu-Tang at their peak. And we have to show this on this stream for right now. You said, what kind of young cat are you with the artist that you're naming? Well, I mean, you know real hip-hop. That's what it is. Juggalo. Yeah, you know the real hip hop, man. So you know that's what it's all about. You said you DJ, right? Yeah, I'll make a note. I made a note of your DJ page, and I'll definitely check it out. You know what I'm saying? I got it in the comments right here. Boom, I just pulled it up. DJ Crystal Clear, right? Yeah. Going back to the Wu-Tang though real quick for all those that are on YouTube watching. And notice how we got the Japanese font too right under the RZA right here. We got the Japanese font.
Yo, check it out. Yeah. 1, 2. Y'all know what time it is, right? Get the fuck up. What? Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing.
Well, hey, Juggalo, thank you, man, for the support. I appreciate you. Again, round of applause to you. I'll definitely take all the donations and all the cash. There's none too small or too big. So I thank you for all the donations and the contributions. I'll definitely make sure that it gets used in the correct way in the right place. So I thank you for the donations.
Beside the rule. What? Come on, Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Yeah, what? I be tossing and bossing, my style is awesome. Calling my family.
Yo, just watching this kind of gives me chills because I remember the time of this and the impact of this. And it was actually like really a thing to go to shows back then too. Because like today, I think people just go to shows and concerts because they just want to get out the house. And some are probably really big music fans, but I'm just talking about like majority, you know what I mean? Because it's like everybody's like on their phones, just filming what's going on. Everybody's on a phone. Whereas like back then we didn't have these phones, which kind of makes me sometimes go back and say like, man, remember that? Like when people would just go outside and just enjoy being outside and being around others and they didn't care about just looking at their phone all day. It's good to have those flashbacks to let you know that, man, sometimes you just got to go outside and experience what's going on outside. It's kind of interesting. But I got to say, man, yeah, back then you wanted to go to these concerts and you wanted to see these artists perform because you were listening to their tapes or their CDs or vinyls. And you were like, man, this is the only way I'm going to be able to see these dudes in person is by going to their concert. You didn't get to see a bunch of concert footage out there. So to see this performance filmed like this and, you know, Russell Simmons and Def Jam was already ahead of the time and knowing, hey, we got to document this. It was really powerful because you couldn't see this back then. You'd have to go to the concert or you'd have to hope that somebody would put it in a documentary. Keep in mind, this was 95, y'all.
Come on, we Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Yeah, what? I be talking and bossing my style is.
Like, look how crazy the crowd's going too.
Time it is, right? Get the fuck up. What? Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Yeah.
Step beside the room.
What?
You see the crowd?
Come on, we Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Yeah, what? I be talking and bossing my style is awesome. Calling my family food. And the survey said, the fatal flag gonna take chops off your fucking head. Mr. Who was that?
RZA is fucking hype on this right here, man. He is so hype on this. Yeah. RZA is so hype on this, man.
Yo, no, it's awesome. Calling my family food. And the survey said, the fatal flag gonna take chops off your fucking head. Mr. Who was that? Hey, yo, no one was back. And the niggas go, boom, boom. There been no one. Oh, no. Wu-Tang Shogun. Cut up to the intro. Needle to the groove, I get through. Force the fucking up, I stab damage like a pickup truck. Cross the clear blue yonder. See, design the CSM tracks like quarterback stacks of LG. So I try and.
Yeah, Inspector Deck, definitely underrated. Inspector Deck, definitely underrated. I like how they're all rapping with the champagne bottles, too. That's just G, man. But like underground hip-hop with the champagne bottles. It's not like, oh, yeah, we out here popping bottles, even though they are popping bottles, but just the whole vibe is just different. The vibe is more like, yo, we made it off of being street and underground. We didn't make it off of being like Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Commercial and flamboyant. Yeah, you said you thought about being a rapper, but it's too much work. Yeah, man. I mean, that's a DJ's valid. You know what I'm saying? A DJ's a lot of work too. Just depends upon the type of work that you want to put in. You wanted to be the next Wayne? Okay. Well, you're that age, so that makes sense.
Yes, the rebel I get S. Left, just a boat, I always slam the best. Cause I baked the cake, then take the cake and eat it too with my crew. Yeah, stay. If you want beef, then bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Straight from the motherfucking slum that's busted. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Then take the cake and eat it too with my crew. Yeah, stay.
I think Method Man was faded during this show. I remember this, where he ran into the crowd and he like just looked like he was lost. He couldn't get back to the stage.
Stay. If you want beef, then bring the ruckus. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Straight from the motherfucking slum that's busted. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Make some fucking noise in your mouth. What's up? Check it.
Damn, the crowd is so hype right here, dude. The crowd is so hype right here. Like, I don't think that they get this lit at shows anymore. I really don't. Like, do y'all see what I'm saying? Like, can you see the difference in performances and when people didn't have phones and technology the way we have now? Like, how much more, like, I really feel like social media, and I've said this before, the more and more I think about it, I really feel like social media has really made people introverted. Even those that are extroverted, it's made them introverted to a degree. Like, people don't even, like, I don't know.
What's up?
Doesn't seem like they vibe like this anymore. Let alone rap groups don't vibe like this really anymore.
Everything that any other ghetto got.
Yeah.
Snitches, stank bitches. We got, oh man, brothers is going through the struggle everywhere, man. But where I'm from, Park Hill, I can tell you about Park Hill. Park Hill like this to me. Yeah,
no
fucking shit just cause the fucking camera's on. Y'all cut that shit out, man. I got the Arsenio. Real Nazi Blossom, no? What you talking about? Your ass sack. Your ass sack. Nigga, what's shit? Usable.
Tokyo.
Respect, man.
She ain't got no drawers on, right? None. This nigga know, too.
Crazy being back in Tokyo back in that time, in those days, man.
Niggas want to pay? Yo, motherfuckers want to pay?
Niggas don't want the pain.
Y'all niggas don't want it.
If y'all want the pain, let me hear you say hell yeah.
I got you, baby.
Say hell yeah. Say fuck.
I want to say shout out to everybody that was tuning in on this stream, though. Thank you guys for a lot, man. Like I said, I was about to jump out of here earlier, but y'all had me going. We was going through some classics, so I just want to say thank y'all, man, for sure. But I'm gonna keep it going for a few more minutes. But yo, definitely shout out Juggalo too, man, for the contributions. Dartmouth, other people too that were up in here, man. I appreciate y'all. But we gonna keep it going for a minute.
Yeah. Say shit, yeah. Just make sure my mic is all the way up. If y'all with me, everybody sing along.
You guys gotta watch this part right here.
Let's go inside my ass to play. Find out my mental, based on instrumental. Back it.
Right monumental.
But then I'm not the king. My niggas is DK. I sing them on the green. Check it. Just out deep and shit. Get deep and see it wet. And brothers is mad thick.
That's why I'm actually surprised that some of y'all, and let me go back to the votes. That's why I'm actually surprised that none of y'all have voted for Method Man to Cal as one of the classics or one of the best albums to come out for Wu-Tang. I'm actually surprised to see that because it really makes me think that some of y'all maybe weren't really there at the time, because you clearly or probably don't know the impact of what Cal had at that time and what Method Man was bringing to the table at that time. Like, I think he really was, not that I think, I know, he was really like the star of Wu-Tang, especially at this time. Like, now a lot of people happen to know all the other members. Like, you saw Raekwon on Joe Rogan and other things going on now, and Ghostface doing his thing. But at this time, Method Man was really the breakout star from Wu-Tang Clan. So this song to Cal was like really so classic. Like, and that might be another stream that we'll have to do on another Wu Wednesday, is the best singles or solo songs that they had out of all those groups or all those albums. Cal's definitely one of them. Method Man might even have two. He might have the Method Man and Cal, the METHOD man. He's got a few. But yeah, man, like I said, I don't know if you guys were really there at the time when Method Man had dropped this and was out there performing.
If you cross color, comes and crossed over, nigga totally crossed down. Who the boss, nigga get torn to the side, and on the dark side of the war. Of course it's the method, man from the Wu-Tang Clan. I'll be hectic, and coming for the head, be protected. Fuck it, 2 tears in a bucket, nigga want the rocket. Bustin' that beat from like I'm shit. Sound like buck well, Method Man on some shit. Pull a nigga fast, this ain't crazy. Tryna live crazy, all the fucking money was a ball.
Is it real shit? Is it really real shit? Let me know it's real shit. If it really real.
It's like they have the energy of like a rock band. Even though they were a hip hop group, they definitely had the energy of a rock band, you know? So it's like I could see why they did their tour with Rage Against the Machine and other things, and that's why they were able to rock the festival market so much. which I think is really what helped give them a lot more exposure too.
And you don't stop. You don't stop. And you don't stop. You don't stop. And you don't stop. That body rock. Check it out. What up? What up? Yeah, yeah.
No phones.
Word up. Word up.
I want you guys to see this clearly.
You better watch that. What up? That body rock. Check it out. What up? What up? Yeah, yeah. Word up. Word up. You better watch that link, nigga. Yo, get your black ass back up here, man. Hey, yo, Ron, let's smoke him out, Ron. Smoke him out. Smoke him out. Smoke him out. And you gonna fuck around and get Vic like that. Word up. Yo, Ron, smoke him out. Yo, Ron. Yo, smoke check it out. Yo, hundreds of niggas. Yo, hundreds of niggas. Check it out. Yo, Bump.
Yo, he said hundreds of niggas. Yo, crazy, man, crazy. Yeah.
Just out of the blue. And you gotta remember too, at first, when we first had our music, they turned us down. They say they ain't gonna go nowhere. They ain't like it. Hustle, they ain't like it. We part of the hustle. We did. We said all right. We did. We pressed up. We pressed up like 15,000 wax. 2,000. Oh, 15 that came after. You know what I mean? First, yeah, 2,000. We started first. 2,000. All right, now boom. We took it to we took the records to Philly, to Baltimore, to Washington, to VA, and our little cars in New York. Like this. Everything. Hit Palace Radio and everything in the rain.
You had to drive around. Now is Raekwon rocking Tommy Hilfiger right here?
Just building up.
But yeah, man, you had to go out there and you had to take your music to people. You couldn't rely on the internet back then. Like, imagine that. Imagine a lot of these introverted rappers where they just want to stay home and they have to be like, oh, man, I'm so, like how we were talking about like depression and all that. It's like, well, you didn't have time to sit at home and be depressed, man. You had to get in the car and go get your music out. You said, where can you find a Wu-Tang Clan demo at? You want to hear it? You tell me, man. You tell me where the Wu-Tang demo could be at. I'd say probably if you're really seriously inquiring about getting a Wu-Tang demo, I'd say you could probably find it on eBay. I think that would be the first place where people will sell that,
That vibe for us, whatever. Like 2 weeks later, you got 30 labels calling the crib. Everybody want to meet up now.
Who's the 9 guys with masks on their face? Nah, they didn't even know about the masks yet. They were just saying, who's the 9 voices on the rhyming tip? You know what I mean? It was just still a little hunger there. They didn't know, but we was just hungry. We was coming in. Right. So when they finally met us, we all had masks on our face. So when you wanted to know, you still ain't even know who it was.
True that.
36 chambers, that's just showing right there, how many different elements that we deal with, because it's like 36 points in the human body, and it's a few fatal of them right there. But we just deal with the 36 because 6 and 3 bring about born, so we here to just bring it into existence. All 36 elements we want to bring here and try to make you see what we're dealing with, through these rhymes and through our ways and actions.
36 chambers was about, we took it from, we took it to the human body. The reason why we call it 36 chambers, like many chambers you go through. So every day is a chamber. Everything you go through is a chamber. This is a chamber right here. You go through many chambers in life, you know what I mean? And every day you'll find a new chamber. When the man said 36 chamber, he related it to the body. You know what I'm saying? Or in the body there's 108 pressure points. Again, we was dealing with lyrical martial art, lyrical sportsmanship. On the body, there's 108 pressure points, and there's 10 degrees between each of those points. And 36 of those 108 will kill you when stricken. The rest is paralyzing. And so 36 and 10 degrees between each of those points come out to 360, which is a complete circle. Which is perfection. Which means you're supposed to understand the equality of that cipher.
Yo, do you guys hear the math of what's being spit here? Like, this is my point, man. Is that these guys were on so much of another level of mentality. Like, they weren't just out here rapping. Like, you could see by these interviews. And by the way, and like I said, man, I don't want to sound too much like, oh, well, they couldn't do it like this back in the day. That these new young kids, these young bucks out here, they can't do it like this back in the day. This is how they used to get down. You know, I don't want to be sounding like that either. But what I'm saying, though, is that these guys had a whole philosophy behind their raps. It wasn't like they were just getting out there and going on the mic and just rapping and just putting out songs and just trying to sell records. Like, they literally had a whole philosophy. Not to mention that Hulu did a TV show off of these guys. You know what I mean?
My clan is thick like plaster, buster, slasher, split a nigga back like a...
Yeah, they did it. They had a TV show that was on Hulu about them where they reenacted their story. I saw a couple of episodes and it was pretty good, man. It was pretty good. But they should movie.
My clan is thick like plaster, buster, slasher, split a nigga back like a Dutch master killer. Style jumped off and killer. I was the thriller in the Ali Fraser Manila. I came down with fat tracks that combine and then the lock like in Smash by Cinder Block. Pow! Now it's all over. Niggas seeing pink hearts, yellow moons, orange stars, and green clovers.
Yo, this motherfucker is a genius. Hell yeah, nigga. Hell yeah.
It's the Mike Brecker Inspector, Badman from...
I forgot they had Joey Badass in this movie. Shout out. Of course, Joey Badass needed to be in this movie. Joey Badass is definitely one of the rappers that carried on the tradition.
Hell yeah. It's the Mike Brecker.
Not sure why Joey Badass is not as current right now. Not sure. Oh, you said you want to hear their early before the 36 Chambers. Are you talking about the Jizz's first album or yeah, we had pulled that up earlier. Let's close out the Diddy. Thanks for the shout out. Appreciate y'all. The Diddy research. We'll leave that one up for Diddy researches. Ice Cream is a classic. That jacket was a classic. Let's see. I'll just pull up another clip. You could tell though that they weren't at the level that they needed to be at though. Oh, put it in like that. Yeah. Well, let's just put Jizza. What did you call it again? Yeah. Words from a Genius. Yeah, you could tell that he just wasn't at the level yet. Neither was RZA. But like RZA said, but I mean, I liked Jizza's first album more than I liked RZA's first album, Prince Rakeem. Like, I thought Prince Rakeem was aight, but it's got that old school sound, right? Lucky that he got down with Wu-Tang. If he didn't get down with Wu-Tang, he might have flopped.
Makes me want to do the nasty, and you got the look of being very classy. So go ahead and whip it on me. As Latifah said, give me that body. So you see right there, I deserve.
But yeah, he was the first member from Wu-Tang to get a record deal before Wu-Tang. This is before Wu-Tang. 91. I mean, if you notice, he's got that New Jack City sound. So they were definitely trying to make him pop. Just like RZA said, they were trying to make them pop and trying to make them come like this and come like that. But then they got out of their deal. I mean, I forgot. Was Words from a Genius on Tommy Boy? Let me pull that up in a different screen. I think it was on Tommy Boy, but I think, and that's why they dissed Tommy Boy on the Liquid Swords. That's the whole point, man. They went back and they formed a Wu.
time to live out his name. He kicked rhymes that all sounded the same, but I did him in within a matter of time, and he was done. With one victorious rhyme, he was shocked. Cause he knew he was rock, along with his classmates from off his block. Yo, I'm telling you, I flipped this whole crew. 1 against 1, or 1 against 2, or 3 or 4 brothers who swore they could rhyme. Battle me, got tooken out every time for my step.
He still had the same voice though. Cold Chillin' Records, distributed by Warner Brothers. So it was an independent label that was on Warner Brothers. So he still had the same voice, but yeah, man, he got a deal. RZA got a deal, as you heard in the story earlier. And then it went on. They got out of the deal because obviously GZA and all them weren't about that pop shit. And thankfully they did that. But yeah, man, you should definitely go check that out. That's the album before. You know what I'm saying? The Woo. Let's play this one.
He had dreams. He had a dream to make cream that failed.
Right,
He went to jail at the age of 15, a young buck who never had much, trying to get a clutch on things he could not touch. And so it's like everybody wants something that they can't get. Everybody. And on blacks, I predict.
I'm glad you brought that up though. Shout you out, man. You making us go through the archives, so I appreciate it, fam.
Most of us, we definitely can't get it. Whereas whites, they get to grab almost anything they see because they got the financial backing. So we just speaking about our struggle. If our struggle sound violent, if our struggle sound that it's gangsterism, or if it sound like we saying the wrong messages or whatever, man, we can't help that. That's our struggle. We trying to get out of this, man.
Right. Get that brother the mic. Get that brother the mic. Like, yo,
I know it's kind of hard to hear this, but
it's like you can't learn that in school, you know what I'm saying? And it's like what we putting on wax is like training for the black youth, because y'all an endangered species now. You know what I'm saying? They either locking you up or killing you. And on top of that, they got you killing yourself. It's time to wake up, you know what I'm saying? And by
yo, they said this back in the early 90s. About it's time to wake up. Damn. Yo, man, do y'all see how far we came? We were saying this back in the 90s. Now, let me ask y'all this, for those of you that were on my stream last night or the other night. And that one, I call it a secret agent. That one secret agent got on the call, right, saying that black people are better off today than they were back then. Are we really going to say that? Are we really going to say that when we had Method Man and the Woo back in the early or mid 90s saying that it's time to wake up and that they're controlling us and they're doing mind control? Yo, does anybody ever take the time to think about the fact that if they were talking about mind control back in the mid 90s, what do you think that they're doing now? Oh, okay. Yeah, what do y'all think they're doing now? What do you think they're capable of now? And I think we can all agree on one thing, though, real quick. I think we can all agree that rap music and hip-hop culture, well, they don't really do hip-hop culture anymore, but I think that we can all agree that rap has gotten much worse. The group demo, Juggalo, you said? Well, I think the first demo that they put out was Protect Your Neck. I think Protect Your Neck was definitely one of the songs. It was probably that and Mysteries of Chess Boxing. But I think, I know for a fact that it was pretty much Protect Your Neck that was on the demo. And I'm glad, man, we're going through the archives on this. Would Eminem flop if he was with Fat Joe? What do you mean by would Eminem flop if he was with Fat Joe? What do you mean by that? Let me see. Wu-Tang. Let's just, since it's Wu-Tang Wednesday stream, let's just make sure that we're going into Thursday morning. But let's just make sure that we got our facts right. Let's just make sure real quick. Says the demo tape circulated by RZA featured early raw versions of tracks that later shaped 36 Chambers and related solo projects, notably Bring the Ruckus, Into the Wu-Tang. The unreleased cassette, according to this, says Bring the Ruckus, which, okay, so it's Bring Your Ruckus. Could have sworn that Protect Your Neck is on there. But I'm glad I researched it. Let me just look up Protect Your Neck real quick. Protect Your Neck. See if it, or when did that finally drop? Our facts straight on this. Okay, so no, Protect Your Neck was not on the initial 8-track shopping demo. You guys can see right here if you want to pull it up. While it was recorded in 92, Protect Your Neck was created slightly later. Instead of being sent out on the initial round of talent scouting tapes, it was independently pressed and released as Wu-Tang Clan's official debut single in 92. So the album didn't even drop yet. 36 Chambers dropped in 93 through their own independent Wu-Tang records. The buzz generated by physical vinyl copies of Protect Your Neck is actually what ultimately landed them their major deal with Loud Records. So the demo tape, and this is kind of an important fact right here. Haven't heard too many people bring this up on the Wu-Tang Wednesdays. That's why beatGrade is special. Right here. The demo tape, early 1992, ran a 30-minute feature unpolished experimental versions of tracks like Bring the Ruckus, Into the Wu-Tang. RZA used this to shop the record deal, but was rejected by labels like Tommy Boy. And maybe that's the reason why he comes in with the lyrics where he says Tommy wasn't my mother effing boy. The Protect Your Neck single, late 92, after the demo tape failed to win over labels, the group scraped together $621 to record. So you remember back in those days, you had to get money to get to the studio. You couldn't just open up FL Studio and make a song and put it on the internet. You actually had to come up with money right then and there in order to get studio time. So the group scraped up together $621 to record Protect Your Neck as a final definitive showcase. To make sure every member got exposure, RZA structured it so 8 of the original members traded verses on a single track. Very smart. People weren't thinking like this very much back then. Because, yeah, not everybody was on those other songs. So they went back, recorded a new song, put all the members on the track, and then put out on vinyl. Notice, they stopped going to the labels, which is the smart thing. They took the vinyl and they went straight to the public. And like what pretty much still happens today, once you go to the public and the public responds and likes what you're doing, then eventually, if the buzz is loud enough and right, you'll get the attention of the labels. So shout out to them. They finally did it. Oh, yeah. I just wanted to finish what Method Man
stuff
saying.
on wax and revealing it enough so you can see it. We want to put it. We're going to teach you how and which way to get it instead of doing it the way you're getting it. Because in the ghetto right now, those brothers out there that's doing their thing, making their little money, doing whatever they can to get over, they think they living. That's their job. That's their everyday job, and they dedicated to their job. You can't come there and show them a better way than what they're doing right now because they convinced that's the way that they should go. And I don't knock nobody for eating, man. If you got to eat, eat. I don't knock nobody.
It goes back, part, you know. It goes all back to, you know, how we deal with our rhymes, you know, for the situation. See, rap to us, man, it's like art, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be talented. You gotta know what you want. And you got to make people see the things that you went through.
It's kind of hard to hear that interview, but I think we get the point, right? Oh, yeah. Let's finish up with this real quick.
Inspector, bad man from the Badlands to the killer. Rap fanatic, representing with the skill that's iller. Did to compare, get pierced just like an ear. No shooby-doo-wop, pop strictly hardware. Armed to get,
Damn, son, I gotta fight my shit.
Charged by the system for murdering the rhythm. Now lo and behold, another deadly episode. Bound to catch another fucking charge when I explode.
Was Joey Badass playing Inspector Deck?
Yo, I'm glad I don't gotta get in the booth after that.
Hey, yo, Shotgun, you got next.
Yo, I'm about to kill all you motherfuckers, son. Word. I'm the insane nigga from the psycho ward. I'm on the trigger. Plus, I got the Wu-Tang sword. So how you figure that you could even fuck with mine? Pull a foul. Niggas say the beef for the cow. I'm milking this hoe. This is my show. It's a cow. The fuck you wanna do for this mic piece, dude? I'm like a sniper. Hype off the ginseng root. PLO style. Buddha monks with the owls. Now who's the fucking man? Meth the cow.
Check that motherfucker. Check that.
Champion gear that I rock, you get your boots knocked, then attack you like a pit, then lock it down.
Somebody made a good point about this. I wonder if this is true or not. I'm sure it is. But that Raekwon wrote his verse on a cereal box. Wu-Tang Wednesdays. Wu-Tang Wednesdays.
As I come and freaks the sound, hardcore, but giving you more and more. Like dang, nah, shorty get you open like 6 packs. Killer bees attack, flipping what? Murder on fat tracks, aight? I kick it like a knife, rock, word life. I get that ass robbed on spike. Check the method from bedrock, cause I rock your head to bed. Just like rocking what? Twin clocks. Shake the ground with my beats, just break it down. Raw sound, going to war right now. Where you bombing? We usually take all niggas' garments. Save your breath before I bomb it.
Yo, you're getting straight from your garments, boy. Ruddy your jewels. All the meth got me open like fallopian tubes. I bring death to a snake when he least expect. Ain't a damn thing changed, boy. Protect your neck. Ruler zigzag. Zigzag large jam is fatal. Quick to stick my Wu-Tang sword right through your navel. The spinful thoughts being brought through my utensil. The pencil, I bring strong winds up against you. Havoc, I run up through your county like the Maverick. Capsules or tablets, I got to make the fabrics.
Yeah, on Hulu. You can watch it. Wu-Tang, An American Saga. Classic, man. Classic. Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We went through some history. But, and man, I appreciate everybody that's on the stream, man. We got like almost, well, in total of everybody, 30 people. Oh, you said Eminem sent Infinite to Fat Joe first instead of Dre. That makes sense, man. That makes sense. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Did Fat Joe say that, though? Because I know Fat Joe be BSing on a lot of stuff, though, too. People said. People be saying that Fat Joe be saying a lot of stuff that ain't always true. But, man. Nah, I thank some of y'all that were tuning into this stream and all that. I actually went a little longer than I was expecting. But before I get up out of here, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow the channel. Shout out again, though, to you. You know what I'm saying? Jugaloo, I appreciate you for the donation again. One more time, man. Just got to say, I can't thank you enough. You know what I mean? Appreciate you. But, yeah, man. I'm going to play a little bit more of this documentary before we get up out of here. But, yes, make sure some of y'all on the YouTube, you guys can like.
Guaranteed you 1 million views or you.
Classics, though, man. Classics that we can't front on. But, yeah, to go back to that one voting thing, I want to make sure that I pull up another one just in case. Let's make sure that we got this other one real quick, because you guys have pulled up this other one. And like I said, we'll have a part 2 on this. I just want to make sure that I have it correct. Let's see. You got 11% Method Man, 11% ODB, Jizza 33%, Raekwon 44%. Like I said, man, I think majority of people are going to always probably put Cuban Links a little bit higher. Maybe not always necessarily, but, you know.
So you could born it and bring forth into existence what you're dealing with. That's what the 36 Chambers was about. musically, you know what I'm saying? It was the hunger of the ghetto. So it's like we always been where we are, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm saying, we always had our knowledge of what we dealt with. You know, and we had it was more like in our community. But it got to a point where it's, you know, we was hungry. We had to come up and eat. You know what I mean? It's like that, you know what I mean? Come up for air, like a well that comes up for air. You know, and the 36 chamber displays all that hunger.
And the 36 chambers was basically, we was hungry, you know what I'm saying? Coming into an industry that we didn't know nothing about, that only like 2 other artists had past experience with, but we didn't know what we was getting into, you know? And the success hit so fast and so hard, it was like you had to swallow it and take it like medicine, like a man, you know? And I'm just happy to be here right now. As far as Wu-Tang Forever, we here, we back, reunited, double LP, we're all excited.
Yeah, this was a classic era. Even though this was still like 95, 96, this is when they were getting ready to do the Wu-Tang Forever. Yeah. So this is after 36 Chambers. This was a good time. This is when they were like, I'd say pretty much mainstream. So, yeah, man. I think, shout out to Wu-Tang, man. Thank you. This was a great concept that I think. So, you know, I appreciate y'all, man. I consider this one a success. You guys definitely came through, hooked it up. I appreciate y'all, man. Like, I wasn't even sure about this. You know what I'm saying? I was like, should we do this? Should we do this? Because, I mean, we're talking about music that came out 30 years ago, 30 plus. But I guess, you know what? It's classic. What's classic is classic. It goes back to show you that, you know what? It don't matter when it came out. If it's classic, it's classic. And that's all it is. Round of applause. Yeah. If it's classics, it's just a classic, man. That's just all it is to it. You can't deny a classic. So I'll say this just to keep us in mind for the second chapter or chapter 3.
Shopping for your next car? What
God,
about third row seats?
Ads that come up all the time, man. It's crazy. Oh, it's this thing that's playing ads. I was like, what ads? Everybody always want to play ads everywhere, man. But I get it. People got to get paid. We got to get paid. We got to pay rent. I get it. I was like, wait, is that a YouTube video playing? But nah, it's actually on our tier list. Great. So we'll have to get this tier list downloaded. But yeah, man, I guess if you guys agree with this.
Shopping for your next car?
Or we may have to restart this one. Let me know if you guys agree with this list or not. If I should change the albums around. I think that Raekwon belongs where he does. I believe that GZA belongs where he does. They're going to probably play that out until we play it, but whatever. I think that GZA belongs where he does. You guys tell me. And I think that ODB personally could be a little bit higher. But you know what I'm saying. Iron Man, Ghostface.
Shopping for your next car?
I'm not sure if I agree with him being at B. And then Method Man. Well, yeah, actually I do think that Ghostface could be at B. Method Man at C. I think he should be a little bit higher. And let me just make sure where you guys put Method Man at. All right, so when we come back, we'll just close that window because we don't really need that anymore. We got it saved. We'll come back to that. The second chapter or the second phase of the Wu-Tang solo albums will be Capadonna with The Pillage, Method Man to Cal 2000, which I did listen to that album today, and it's not bad. It's not a bad album. It wasn't really a great album. And I'll say this too real quick. The one thing that I appreciated about the Method Man album, the to Cal 2000, he did it like right when we were having like the whole Y2K thing. Like that's what the album's about. which was kind of interesting because I remember when we were having the whole crazy Y2K. So it was an interesting time that album dropped. It was decent. I remember when it came out, it wasn't my favorite Method Man album. But, you know what's really interesting is that listening to it today compared to what has been coming out lately or in the previous 10 years or so, it really sounds better than a lot of these other trash albums that come out or that have come out. Of course, there's some that are decent, but you know what I'm saying. Just trying to see if we could pull that tier list up. So, yeah, I think we got them in the right order. I don't know if I agree to Cal being a C. I mean, and let me just pull it back up real quick. We might have to close it because they're just going too crazy with the ads on here. So bear with it for a second. But I don't know if I agree with Method Man being at a C. And y'all let me know before we get out of here. Should Method Man to Cal be at a B or should it be at a C? Like I said, especially the fact after we seen the performance of Method Man. I mean, like, Method Man was definitely a showman. And hopefully you guys can see the albums right here, right? Y'all tell me, man. Before we get up out of here, are we really going to leave Method Man to Cal at a grade C? I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know, man. I don't know. So, you guys tell me, man. Like, let me know, man. I'm seeing for you. Yeah, for those of you that are on YouTube. Y'all tell me, those of you on YouTube, tell me right now if you think that we gonna leave Method Man at a C beat grade. It's kind of a red flag, man. That You're All I Need. You're All I Need was a classic, man. You know, we'll play that on the next one. We'll play that on the next one. We don't need to play that on this one. But yeah. All right. Well, y'all tell me, man. Jugaloo, I see your comment. You're gonna ask me about every rapper that came out between the year 1992 and 1999. Well, first of all, I don't know if I agree with that comment, but I'll have to tell you this, man. Let's keep it Wu-Tang. The subject today is Wu-Tang, not Eminem, Snoop Dogg, or Fat Joe, or Dr. Dre. Let's just keep this topic today on Wu-Tang. We can discuss other 90s rappers or other golden era rappers on another stream when we do that on that topic. But I want to stick on the subject for this, you know? All right. Thank you. About to be, and like I said, there might be a little bit of a delay that comes in with you guys, but I appreciate y'all. Damn. All right, here we go. Play this last footage before I get up out of here.
It's like looking at that.
Oh, shout out Linda.
See that shit actually happen.
Put him at B. Well, I'm also, thank you. Shout out to Linda. Appreciate you. And let me say this. Well, I'm also looking at the poll of the votes. I'm looking at what you guys are saying. Hold on. Yeah, you guys are saying, I don't know, man. Almost 10 votes out of 10 votes. So it's like 2 or 3 apiece, maybe. Yeah, I'd say that. Well, Raekwon definitely got the most votes. Yeah, he's like at a B minus. I mean, you know, that would probably be too technical to put it at a B or a C. But yeah. I agree. Yeah, shout you out. We're going to put him at B. You're right. Good point. Yeah, it definitely needs to be the B. Like I said, I don't really think there's any Wu-Tang albums that are graded below a D. Solo albums, that is, that we're talking about. And maybe full albums. But yeah, the second chapter, or second chamber, shall I say, Capadonna the Pillage, which is one of my favorite ones. This will be on the next stream. But these will, and then we will place them here into these albums, and we will decide where they go. And I'm gonna remember this for when I do the Wu-Tang. I'll probably maybe do the stream on the phone for the next TikTok. See how that goes. It's just hard to put, the rating system up on the mobile device. It's easier to do it right here, how we have it streaming. Because yeah, y'all need to see it like this. But like I said, I know TikTok sometimes doesn't like to push it out if you do streams this way. They want you to do it like on their mobile app where they can control it, right? I'm lucky that they allow me to do it like this, I guess. But yeah, but and then like I said, man, sometimes it's funny. We'll have people jump in the comments or jump. Jugaloo, you know what you're talking about, but we'll have some people jump in that want to jump on a call, like let me up, and then they like the one guy that I had on here yesterday or the other day. He was like, let me up, and he like kept asking like let me up. And I was just like, all right, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll let you up, dude. It's all good. And then once I let him up, it was like he had nothing to say. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, you asked me to let you up, and then I finally let you up, and then you have nothing to say. Or you got the people that want to jump up so bad, and then once you let them up, it's like they have no idea what the heck they're talking about. Like I said earlier a million times. Oh, Future is hip hop. Travis Scott is hip hop. Yo, let's keep it on subject. We're not talking about Travis Scott. We're not talking about Bone Thugs and Harmony, but respect. We're not talking about Eminem. We're talking about Wu-Tang. Let's keep it on subject. And that's what we're going to have to start telling these people. Like I said, most of these people who I know that are in my field and that have a huge following, they don't even take calls from other people. I'm thinking, I try to be nice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe sometimes I think I'm a little too nice. Maybe I need to start being more like Charlemagne and like, all right, well, thank you for calling. Peace. Thank you for calling. Get up out of here. Thank you. Peace. Thank you. Thank you for your call. Thank you. Hey, I think rappers should be gay. Hey, thank you for your call. Peace. Thank you for calling. Thank you. Goodbye. Like the operator, thank you for calling. Goodbye. That's what, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, as I was saying, chapter 2, the second chamber number 2. Phase 2, however you want to put it. We will discuss the albums Capadonna the Pillage, again, one of my favorites, Method Man to Cow, RZA, Bobby Digital, which was another one of my favorite classes. And I got some of them lined up right here already. As you see right here, I got Bobby Digital already right here. That's Master Killers, but we'll maybe move him down again. Because we're not ready for him yet. He's like in the 5th or 4th phase or chamber. But like, yeah, I got RZA, Bobby Digital, but like I said, he'll be on the next one. I probably would put Bobby Digital probably at a C or a B just off the top of my head, even though he did have some classics on there. And then we also got the Method Man to Cow. We got the Capadonna right here. So yeah, we will go over these albums on the next Woo Wednesday. Oh yeah, and then we got as other homeboy brought up, you got Inspector Deck, which is another one of my favorites. Jizza, Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele. There's a lot to go through on the second chapter number 2. But yeah, thank you, man. I'm glad we got at least these 5 locked down. Let me just make sure we got them right. Method Man, ODB, Raekwon, and Jizza. Yeah, Method Man, ODB, Raekwon, Jizza, and Ghostface. Yeah. This right here is the first wave. First wave of solo rappers, solo Wu-Tang members that came through. Yo, so we got nearly 30 people watching right now, late at night, wherever you are, 6 o'clock in the morning for the East Coast, 3 o'clock for those of you on the West Coast. And shout out to my people in Texas. It's probably about, what, 5 a.m. where y'all at? 30 people up in this stream, not including the other platforms we're on. And we only got 3 likes on here, but it's all good. You know, people just want to watch but not contribute. But thank you for the chats, though. I appreciate you. That helps out, too. Do we cover all the angles that we needed to?
And it's like,
yeah, I remember this one. Like, there was some concerts that I went to, and I'm like, oh, no, this was actually a different one. But I went to one that was similar to this, though. This was a little bit later. I'm glad that they went back and did a little reunion tour, though. But you see, and that's the difference. Like I said about Wu-Tang, man, the difference is with them is that they learn how to put all their differences aside.
The Wu is too slamming for these coke killer labels, so ain't had hits since I seen Aunt Mabel. Be doing all the sin
Smart.
like King did Abel. Now they money's getting stuck to the gum under the table.
Featured all the MCs. Smart. So yeah, man. I want to say thank y'all, man, for tuning in. We put up the banner. Wu-Tang. We did it. Yeah, man, we did it. I think my personal opinion, I don't think anybody's covered the Wu better than this stream. So thank y'all. As you see, I already got the Wu wear. I got some other stuff too that I got in the archives. I'll probably bring it out, rock it for the next stream. But yeah, and I think later this week we gonna do the golden era, because I know a lot of y'all want to do the golden era. But shout out to you, Juggaloo. Again, thank you for the donations. Thank you for the contributions. Shout out to everybody. Dartmouth, shout you out. Linda, of course, shout you out. Thank you for always coming through. You know what I'm saying? Who else? The one and only King. Thank you, fam. I appreciate you. There was a couple other of y'all that jumped in here. We also had Lord the First. Appreciate you. And some of the other people that left the comments. Shout out to my members again that help contribute, that help build the channel. Yeah, man. I think we pretty much covered the Wu-Tang and everything. I hope to see you guys on the next one. Make sure y'all check me out. I usually go a little bit earlier. Like, I'm going to probably start going like around, 9:30-ish or somewhere around there, Eastern time. So, yeah. I appreciate all y'all, man. But, yeah, thank you, man. Wu-Tang. Wu-Tang. Definitely dope. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. All right. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys tune in. Don't forget. We keep it real on these streams, man. We talk about real hip hop. Oh, and yeah, let me say this too before I get up out of here. I want to make sure I want to just say thank you again. All right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. Also, shout out to the homie that gave me the idea for the Wu Wednesdays, because yeah, man. It's good that we talk about this, because there's so many people that just talk about the same crap up on here on these streams and these YouTubes, and it's like, again, I don't care all the time who Rihanna is dissing on her, what's it called, on her Instagram. I don't care. And also, to me, that really ain't got nothing to do with hip hop or hip hop culture. That's just gossip talk. And I think it gets to a point to where we got to go back to the essence, and we got to speak about the real. And we shouldn't just be up here gossiping all the time, or just talking about who's dating who, or what do you think about this? I mean, I get it. People don't have topics to talk about sometimes. So then when we don't have topics to talk about, that's when we go back into the archives and we study the history. Now, that's not necessarily why I did this with Wu-Tang. To tell you the truth, this is something I've been wanting to do for a minute. I actually, now that I think about it, had the idea of discussing the best Wu-Tang albums, because I know we always have these debates or conversations. Who had the best Wu-Tang solo album? Was it GZA? Was it Raekwon? Was it Method Man? Etc. And then, you know, shout out to the homie who jumped in the chat. He's like, yo, you should do it on Wednesdays, Wu-Tang Wednesdays. So it was a collaborative effort. I had the idea, somebody else came through, gave me another idea, and we put it together. That's the reason why we do these things. Thank you. We're all building together. So I really appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. So, but like I said, I think it's important for us to go back into the archives and look at real hip hop. And like I said, man, I believe that we talked about some realness on this one. And the rebroadcast will be up there for you. Haha, Juggalo, you said, oh, that's some good stuff. Some good stuff, man. You said 3-6 Mafia Thursdays, Marshall Mathers Mondays. Wait, Marshall Mathers Mondays and KRS One Tuesdays. Shout that out, man. That's a good one, man. KRS One Tuesdays and Marshall Mathers Mondays. I like that. I actually like that. I actually like the Marshall Mathers Mondays. The question is, does Marshall Mathers have enough classic albums, though, that we could compare? I really only think he's got like 3 or 4 of them. It might be easier to go through his songs now. Like, I think we could definitely go through his songs, his catalog of songs. But I like that. Yeah, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. And man, I was on that topic yesterday for about an hour and a half. Maybe longer, talking about Marshall Mathers' catalog. But you're right. That is definitely, thank you for that comment. See, that's what I'm saying. We come up with the ideas. That's why I do this. We build the community, and everybody helps to have great ideas together. So yeah, shout you out, Juggalo. That's a great idea. I like it. Although I'd like to talk about maybe somebody else on Thursday. Maybe give me like more of a golden era rapper. Like Eminem is like right on the end of golden era. He was a little after it, but he was like just like right there. He was like the cutoff. But KRS One Tuesdays is a definite banger. That's a definite banger. KRS One Tuesdays. I like that idea. Brand Nubian Thursdays. Yeah. That's a good one too. Shout out to Lord Jamal, man. He makes a lot of good points. We'll come up with the idea, but for right now, I love the Marshall Mathers Mondays. I love that one. So yeah, shout you out, man. All right, y'all. I hope to see you guys on the next one, man. Salute. And I think we got our poll ended here with only built for Cuban links coming in at about 11% more than GZA Liquid Swords, but they're right there. And we have our list right here. Let's not forget. And hopefully they save it. But if not, I got a screenshot of this. So, yeah. All right, yo. I really thank you, man. I will. I'm going to check you guys out. I'll check you guys out. Get up out of here. And I get the time. I'm actually going to check you guys out. I wouldn't want to jump on it right now because I gotta tell you, man, my ears are so elevated on the Wu-Tang thing that I wouldn't even be able to give your thing a fair listen. So, but don't worry, fam. Juggalo, I'm gonna check you out. Or was it I got your name logged in right here, Crystal Clear 420. Don't worry. I listens to people. I check out what people send me. Trust me, man. I got people sending me stuff all the time, and I pretty much check it out, man. I'm not one of those people that don't check it out. That's how I started doing beatGrade. I started doing beatGrade because a lot of people I was working with were becoming famous, you know. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to start doing this professionally. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people that hit me professionally. You said unlock the inbox. You should be able to send me a DM. I got people that send me DMs all the time. You should be able to send me a DM. But if not, here, I'll throw my email our personal business email in the chat for you. Here, let me put it in the chat for you right there. I just put the email in the chat right there. That's the email you can hit me at. But you should be able to DM me on TikTok. I get DMs all the time on TikTok. I just had a couple people actually right before I jumped up on here give me their Spotify links. So you should be straight. Man, shout out to those of you on YouTube though. Thank you to those on YouTube. I appreciate it, man. We had like a consistent like 30 people watching here almost here and there and only 3 likes. Interesting. But thank y'all. All right, and I'm going to check you out. Don't worry, 420. I got you. I'm going to check you guys out on the next one. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate you. Woo Wednesdays. And maybe coming up next, the Mushroom Matters Mondays and the KRS One Tuesdays. Definitely. I'm going to come with some ideas. I got y'all. Yeah, send me that DM and we going to check it out. For sure. All right, y'all. Catch you on the next one.